Good evening, my friend, and welcome to How to Suck at iRacing for the Whale PD 300 presented by XCal Racing. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCal Racing, and tonight we are looking forward to going 300 exciting laps from the Rockingham Speedway. Joining me in the booth this evening will be Doug Burns. Doug is obviously the man working the cameras here at How to Suck at iRacing. And Doug, how do you feel being out here for your first XCal event?
Gotta be honest, I'm a little bit nervous, but extremely excited. This got to see some of the heats yesterday. That was really cool. Love the format, and always been a follower of XCal, so really like you guys, and looking forward to this new adventure.
All right, well, now we're going to welcome in everyone's favorite Higgins, the XCal super fan. Sending it down to Higgins right now.
What the fuck is up, partner? This here's Higgins, the XCal superfan, coming at you from the hottest suck at iRacing network. Them guys over at Turn 3 didn't like me too much, I guess, so they booted me out and came knocking on the old RV to get their anti-swear machine back. And they said I had to pay them back for deflowering the ears of their station, so they took what they thought was my favorite hat. They went and took a Coors Light hat that ain't even mine out of my trailer, talking about emotional collateral, whatever the hell that means. All I know is that I still got my favorite Busch Light hat. You hear that? They ain't never taken my good Busch Light hat.
So Higgins, what are you expecting out of this race this evening? Any expectations?
Oh, tonight I want to see a little bit of bumping and grinding. I definitely want to see these cars going fast, and I'm just hoping that we see a very clean race, other than that little bit of bumping and grinding, like I said.
And Higgins, how much alcohol do you plan to consume during the 300 laps this evening?
Okay, so I've already lost count, but I can in fact see at least 3/4 of a bottle of Jim Beam within arm's reach. We're gonna see how much I can get down, but before at least half.
All right, and last but most certainly not least, what is your all-time favorite girl band?
My favorite all-time girl band? Man. Does Pat Bentar count? I really like Pat Bentar.
We'll let that slide, Higgins. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be sure to have a lot more Higgins throughout the night. Enjoy the race, Higgins, and try not to be too sloshed before next time we hit you up.
Oh, I'm hoping that I'm not dead by half, Pete.
That's Higgins, the XCal superfan. We'll be catching up with him again throughout the night. And here we go. We got the starting grid here as we get ready for 300 laps of exciting action from the Rockingham Speedway. Starting on pole position, that is position number 1, will be the number 16 of Pat Sullivan. By winning pole, he has locked himself into the 2021 XCal All-Star Race. On his outside, the number 48 will be Jordan Babinger. In third will be the number 77, Octavio Rondoletto, who won last week's feature. And in fourth will be the weapon, Tyler Jalbert. In fifth will be the number 28 of Steven Rex. In sixth will be the 28 of Steven Rex will be in fifth. In sixth will be the 08 of William Karp. In seventh will be the 53 of Tyler Batchelder. In eighth will be the 7 of Jeff Edgar. In ninth will be the 61 of Greg Holes. And 10th will be the 99 of Tyler McRae. In 11th will be the 57 of Alex Hallinar. In 12th will be the 05 of John Friley. In 13th will be the 81 of Blake Wynn. 14th, the 22 of Kendrick Crayer. 15th, the 17 of Aiden McConaughey. 16th, the 52 of Marty Zakala. 17th, the 82 of Alex Gangler. 18th, the 062 of Johnny B. 19th, the 2 of Ben Eaton. 20th, the 06 of Logan Jones. 21st, Heather Patrick. 22nd, Bruce Helmuth. 23rd, Matthew Bear. 24th, Jose Godino. And 25th, Rafael Sempruch. And the rest of the field will be John Schwartz, Brandon Varney, Paul Coleman, Caleb Tremaine, Derek Colson, Ryan Soper, John Domino, Ron Walters, Clinus LaBeouf, Trevor Birchmere, Richard Holliday, Dennis Knippi, Danny Ware, Jeremy Leto, Luke Turpin, Arthur Hendren, and Joshua Borje Bonkowski make up the 43 drivers slated to take the green flag here from Rockingham, North Carolina. We come down the backstretch, this time by the iRacing Ford Mustang is going to let these guys go at it. And I'll tell you what, these heat races have been kind of ugly this week. It's been a lot of carnage. Expect maybe some early big wrecks in this one. Who knows? This could be a race of attrition. Here we go. One thing to note, too, a lot of the cars starting in the back of the field, some of the guys that have been fastest all week had to start in the back due to penalties. Watch for some fast guys to come from the bottom 5 starting spots. Here we come off corners 3 and 4. The pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn. The field is now at the mercy of Pat Sullivan. Here they come, and the green flag is waved. We're down and away, and Pat Sullivan doesn't get that great of a jump. It's Babinger on the high side. Babinger able to hang side by side with Sullivan. Babinger has the nose ahead going into 1 and 2. Babinger tries the side draft with the number 16 of Pat Sullivan. That 16 a little bit squirrely in the corner. The 48 hanging nice on the outside. Jordan Babinger's up there. And oh, here we go. Octavio Rondoletto making it 3 wide into turn 3 on lap number 1. He's going to let off. Sullivan's going to cut his nose off. Babinger takes over the lead. Now the battle's on for second between the weapon Tyler Jalbert and Pat Sullivan. And here we go once again. Rondoletto making it 3 wide. Rondoletto is under there. He is underneath Pat Sullivan. He has the nose in. They go down in the corner. They slide up. And oh, Sullivan gets hard into the outside wall. Sullivan spins from the field. Miraculously, everyone misses him. And the 85 of Leto gets him a little bit as he leaves the pits. But Sullivan now with an absolutely destroyed race car. I can't believe nobody hit him there, Doug.
No kidding. We'll try and get back to the replay real quick. That was kind of unexpected to see him come off see the way that played out there with the little bit of a tap for the way he turned was definitely something unexpected there.
He has to be absolutely furious right now with Rondoletto for making it 3 wide into turn 1 on lap number 2, though. Like, he cannot be happy under that helmet.
No, he really can't. I mean, that was kind of a crazy move to make early on. We knew that there would be a little bit of carnage tonight, but everybody got the warning before the race, and you'd think they would be a little bit more patient, but you see the number 16 coming down pit road now, and yeah, he's probably got steam coming out the sides.
Yeah, and with XCal Racing, no quick repairs, nothing like that. So he's going to have to sit there and wait for that car to get repaired. And I mean, our pole sitter, he didn't even get to make it out of lap number 2 there, Doug. His night's ruined already. A very early end to Pat Sullivan's night from pole to 43rd right now. A tough break there for Pat Sullivan. The one wave around car will be Jeremy Leto. 42 of the 43 will be on the lead lap, the one exception being Pat Sullivan. At this time, we're going to pull in our in-car reporter for the first time this evening. That is Ryan Soper, better known by the fans as Pud. And Pud, it's Doug and Petey up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, Doug and Petey.
Well, Pud, tell me, right now it looks like you are running towards the middle of the field. What's kind of the game plan here for the 84 team early on in this event?
Game plan for the 84 team is unlike yesterday night, which was pretty bad for me. The game plan for the 84 tonight is to wait it out, be patient.
All right, and come down the end of this race. Do you feel like that 84 car has a good amount of speed? Do you think you might be in the contention for a top 5 spot late in the going?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident about it. I've been top 5 in practice a lot. And, so has the 86 car.
All right, and what would you like to say to all the fans of Pud out there listening in?
You exist?
All right, well, that is Ryan Pud Soper, driver number 84.
I'd like to also thank K2 for sponsorship this race.
All right, well, that is Ryan Pud Soper in the 84. We'll be catching up with him throughout the evening, our in-car reporter. Doug, one thing here that makes this Rockingham track so interesting is Tyler Jalbert has received a black flag there, deeming that accident was on Tyler Jalbert, not the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. So kind of I guess I kind of see where race control made that call, but still Jalbert can't be happy about that. But back to what I was saying to you a second ago, Doug, is this Rockingham track, I don't know if you've tried this combination yet, but you can drive it wide open if you hit your marks right, but it's a really technical track, and it's a really hard track to master. So for that reason, we've seen a lot of carnage and a lot of guys really struggle to get speed here.
And what you notice too is the track is extraordinarily abrasive, and it wears tires off. In these cars, it'll take a little bit longer before you start to see the effects of it, but they will start sliding around a lot more as tire wear goes on, and you probably start seeing a little bit of damage from just slight knocks, bangs, and bumping into each other going through the turns. And like you said, you can go wide open, but some of these guys will be braking a little bit, I'm sure, dragging the brake, set the nose, and that will that'll provide some opportunities for passing, and it could get even more interesting than what we saw bring out this first caution.
Well, we'll find out. We are scheduled to go green this time, but I'm going to see if race control might delay at one time. Looks like they are. I don't think they're going to now, but it looks like everyone was struggling to get things all tightened up, but I think they've done a good job recovering. So here we come down the backstretch. Your leader is Jordan Babinger. Second place is Octavio Rondoletto. Third, Steven Rex. 4th is William Karp, and 5th is Tyler Batchelder. We come down in corners number 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang pace car leads the field off the corner, and it will now make that hard left-hand turn into pit road. The field is now at the mercy of Jordan Babinger as they come off the corner. The field comes down towards the start-finish line. The 48 goes right away. Green flag in the air. A nice jump there for Babinger. He absolutely blew the doors off Rondoletto there. Babinger takes the point now as they race for third behind him. The 28 of Steven Rex is on the inside of William Karp. Rex drives that machine low and through the corner right now. No, 2 cars wrecked behind him. The 53 of Batchelder and the 7 of Edgar went off the racetrack. Looks like none suffered too much damage. They're going to get those cars back going as we have guys zigging and zagging all throughout the field right now. Top 5 have gotten spread out a little bit. First battle side by side is Kendrick Cryer side by side with Tyler McRae. I believe that's for 9th and 10th right now. McConaughey right now in the 17 car rides right behind those 2 guys. And let's see, this battle right now is for 7th, 8th, and 9th actually. McRae will hang on for 7th for the moment. Marty Zaccalo runs right behind that pack of cars. We look all throughout the field, guys getting kind of sorted out right now. Looks like everyone's trying to get single file after that early yellow. Looks like no one hit. Tyler Jalbert's the only car that is 1 lap down outside of Pat Sullivan. I think he had to serve a black flag, so that's probably the cause there. Looks like, though, Doug, everyone's kind of calming down a little bit and getting single file here now.
Yeah, this early in the race, hopefully they would think to save a little bit. This track, you have speeds more like a Charlotte Motor Speedway, but it drives more like a short track. It does make it a bit tricky, and these guys got to settle in and try and save a little bit of tires, or they're going to end up on these long runs beating and banging all the way around the track. As you see, the 48 drop below the yellow, just trying to get any speed they can.
Right now, he has a mirror full of the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto, who was last week's feature winner. Rondoletto is bearing down on him right now. Those 2 maroon cars, they're not team affiliated at all, just kind of weird coincidence. They are getting real close to each other right now. Worth noting, Rondoletto and Babinger both won heat races yesterday. I believe they won heats 1 and 3 respectively. So 2 cars that certainly were showing speed yesterday, 2 cars that have shown speed all weekend. And really this weekend we've seen the Big Block Motorsports and Twisted Chassis guys really have a lot of speed. And outside of those 2 teams, the closest drivers have been Rondoletto and Jordan Babinger. And really there's been a little bit of a separation between everyone else. So I'm not surprised early on where the 48 and 77 started to see them up front battling right now. It looks like Babinger, though, starting to pull a little bit of a gap between the 2 of them. Looking around the speedway trying to find our first battle, it looks like Marty Zaccalo has found his way around Aiden McConaughey and Kendrick Cryer. So move Marty Zaccalo now up to 8th position. He'll set his sights on Tyler McRae in front of them. Meanwhile, behind these guys, we do have a nice battle starting to brew for 11th. Logan Jones is all over the back bumper right now. Ben Eaton. Jones peeks to the outside. He's actually going to go to the outside. Let's see if he tries to make it stick up there. He will wheel that thing around the high side. Looks like there was a little bit of tire smoke in front of him. Jones will not be able to advance his position. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose one.
And it looks like we've got a battle for third here. The 28 was down inside there for a moment, but the 08 has... William Karp, it looks like he has moved up into third, and he's kind of on a tear.
He has been one of the fastest cars all weekend. We have a change in position for 6th here. Tyler McRae just went around Greg Holes, moved McRae up to 6th spot now. Marty Zaccalo gets right on the 61's bumper. We're about to have a battle for the lead. Octavio Rondoletto all over the back bumper right now. That 48 of Jordan Babinger. Babinger continues to drive that machine though around the racetrack, and Rondoletto just drives in his tire tracks. Babinger with a defensive line down the backstretch. Really no point there. Babinger is going to hang on to the lead as they go off from the corner. Good 3 and 4 for him. Behind these guys, another change in position. Greg Holes just sacrificed 7th position to Marty Zaccalo. Zaccalo picks up 1 more spot, and now we have a battle forming for 9th and 10th. Aiden McConaughey is all over right now the Kendrick Cryer machine.
And it looks like Tyler McRae, the last few laps, has been the fastest car by as much as a 1/10 of a second faster than the leader, Jordan. And he is coming forward quickly. Although Marty did have the fastest lap overall so far, the 99 is consistently the fastest one on the track.
Yeah, actually McRae is a direct teammate to Jordan Babinger, so not surprising to see both those cars have speed. And Zaccalo is affiliated with the 08 of William Karp, so kind of seeing a lot of dropping bombs and BBM flexing their muscle early in this race. And of course, Octavio Rondoletto pretty much fast everywhere we go. Right now, though, that 52 and 99 cutting their way through the field, trying to make their way through a pack of cars. Meanwhile, we have a great battle going on for 11th and 12th right now. Chase Johnson side by side with Ben Eaton right now. Those two cars dueling side by side. They are three wide back there. Jones peaks the middle. There's no hole to go in. Jones is going to let them continue to race. Johnson on the inside, just trying to find a way around Eaton, and Johnson will clear him. Here comes Jones. Jones going to try to follow him through, and Jones does have the hole there. Let's see if Jones can take 12th away from Eaton. Helmuth is also going to look like maybe he's going to try to follow these guys through. Jones will get by Eaton, and it looks like Eaton's teammate, nope, Helmuth's going to take the hole. Helmuth is going to challenge his teammate here, as we do have some battles for me on the racetrack we're going to skip to. Marty Zakala just got by Tyler McRae. That's for 6th spot now. McRae gives him a little bit of a bump down the backstretch, but Zakala now up to 6th, though, changing position there.
And it's interesting to note everybody that started or that is currently running about 9th back to about 13th, 14th place, they are all moving up through this pack very quickly. You've got the 9th place car, Aiden, is started in 15th. He's up to 9th. The 12th place car, the 06, he started way back in 20th. He is already up to 12th. In front of him, or right behind him, Benjamin Eaton started in 19th up to 13th. And the 25, Bruce Helmuth, he started in 22nd. He's up to 14th. So these guys are going to be ones to watch if they're pushing too hard and burning up their tires, or if they're just got that much speed to get through the pack.
All right, here's a couple crazy ones for you here, actually. We have right now up to 19th positions Richard Holliday, who started 37th. From 36th position is 20th right now. Dexter Knippi started 38th. He's up to 21st. And Luke Turpin started 41st. He's up to 23rd. So even deeper in this pack, Doug, we have some guys making some big moves here.
Yeah, they are. There's quite a few changes in positions. You got several guys that started up towards the front. Obviously, the pole sitter's off track, but you got several guys that started up in the top 10 that have fallen way to the back, and some of these faster guys that started way in the back. Some might have been, as you mentioned in pre-race, might have been through penalty or just bad circumstances in qualifying and heats. They are really starting to charge towards the front. If I was the front 2-3 cars that are breaking away, I would get a little bit worried right about now.
No doubt, as looking through this field, Logan Jones just did get by Chase Johnson for 11th, so changed in position there. Tyler McRae, Kendrick Cryer right now is racing with Aiden McConaughey. McConaughey does continue to hold off that 22. Looks like he will for a little while. Up front, though, there's a battle for the lead, side by side. Rondoletto has gotten to the inside of the 48 of Babinger. William Karp's caught right up to these guys as well. They're side by side for the top spot. Babinger on the high side. He gets a little tight in the middle of the corner, and yep, Rondoletto's going to take the spot away. Here comes Karp now to the inside of Babinger. Karp does have the nose inside, so Karp might try to take this position away from Babinger and move up to second. Real close there between those two as they go off in the corner, and for that reason, the 48 slid way up the racetrack. 08 also slides up a little bit. They are at a dead heat as they come towards the start-finish line. Babinger might clear Karp on the high side. It's going to be real close here as we head down into one. Babinger did clear Karp on the high side, so a fortunate break there for Babinger. He hangs on to second.
Yeah, and this is really getting dicey between some of these. We're at about 24 laps in. We had 4 or 5 laps under caution, but this is the point in time where these guys are really going to start seeing those tires give out. And the 48, we saw him move up the track to avoid wrecking, but you're going to start seeing people move up the track that aren't necessarily intending to. They just get in there. The tires just don't want to stick. This track just eats tires for breakfast.
As we continue to monitor this battle up front, Babinger jumps back to the outside. He does have a nose to the outside of Rondoletto. Karp looked to maybe squeeze his nose in there, but there's just nothing there. Babinger gives Rondoletto a bit of a tap off the corner, and you're right, Doug. These guys are starting to get real dicey with each other.
Yeah, they're probably trying to get the last bit of good tire they've got left here, because I guarantee you within about another 5 laps, they're all going to be radioing their crew chief saying, hey, can I get 4 fresh tires delivered to the back straightaway, please?
I have no doubts about that. We actually have a pretty crazy battle going on between some of these guys that work their way up through the pack right now. In about 18th, there's a whole mess of race cars. Briefly, I'm going to take my eyes off the battle up front for that battle just because there's a mess of race cars right there. Richard Holliday is trying to find his way around Brandon Varney, and right behind him, he has pretty much all the way back to about 35th behind him, and he's in 18th. So just a line of race car that Brandon Varney looks like he might be holding up a little bit. And if we don't see an accident up front, Doug, we might see one back here with all these guys. This is getting tight as Holliday gives Varney a shove.
Oh, yeah, they bumping into turn 1. Not the best place to to do that bump. That's a 22-degree banking of really abrasive track. And apparently, for whatever reason, turns 1 and 2 are the more abrasive ones, and they do get slick faster. They build up that tire, and the 03 just gives him a little nudge, and they are getting really dicey back here.
Yep, and Varney's going to block him all the way down the racetrack. The 03 jumps back to the outside, nothing there, gives him another shove. Here comes Birchmere to the outside, Edgar to the inside there, 3 wide. Edgar gets loose off the corner, he's going to hang on to it. Great racing back here for about 20th. Here comes the 12 of Danny Ware on the outside getting involved. And the 07's going to get into Ware. Will Ware save the race car? I think Ware just went up into the outer barrier. He did, they wreck behind him. The 86 is wrecking. The 81 gets into him a little bit. Looks like everyone for the most part is going to hang on though. That could have been a lot worse than it really was there.
Yeah, just taking a look back through the field, everybody, man, it looked like they were almost nudging each other back the right way, but they all managed to hang on to it. And that was some pretty impressive driving from all these guys to hang on to it. You knew something was going to happen the way they were battling back there.
It's not over yet either. Holiday and Varney are going at it. Varney gets loose. Holiday got into Varney. Varney saves the race car, and Holiday has pulled an old Earnhardt there. He said, "You're not going to get out of my way. All right, you better be able to hang on to the race car."
And there they are. The 03 is starting to get away just a little bit, but it looks like he's about to have his hands full yet again as this pack closes right back to him.
Up front, Babinger's gotten to the outside of Rondoletto. Great racing still going on for the lead. Great racing all over the racetrack. Babinger on the high side did lead the last lap. Him and Karp might be trying to take this high side and get around the 77 of Rondoletto. Rondoletto drives that car too deep into the corner. He gets a little tight. He pushes the 48 up the racetrack. Babinger gets tight because of it, and the 77 will hang on to the lead. This time by the stripe, it is awfully close once again, 34 1,000ths. That 48 car, though, trying to do all he can to make the outside work, and it's just not going to. He's going to have to slide back in the line in front of the 08 of William Karp, who's given him a hole to slide back into. Here we go, 3 wide for third. Marty Zakala goes to the inside of the 28 and 57. Zakala's going to let off into the corner. Holy cow, or that was for fourth, excuse me. Now Zakala's going to get to the inside of the 57 of Halinar. But my goodness, Doug, that was almost a brave move.
Yeah, that was. These guys are getting really gutsy, especially as time goes on and the track starts slicking up for them. They're getting really gutsy and really aggressive. And you mentioned the outside line as the 57 catches the wall.
The 99. Oh no, oh my goodness, Kendrick Cryer goes ripping through there as the 57 and 99 still spin. Let's hope everyone gets checked up for this. The 06 of Jones almost got into it. Everyone looks to be slowing up for this accident now as we have caution on the speedway. Looks like Tyler McRae nosed hard into the outside wall. I'm not sure how much damage he got. I can tell you that the 57 of Halinar, though, and the 22 of Cryer, they're probably toast.
Yeah, it looks like it. Watching the replay, the 57 just could not get it to turn. He pushed really bad up there and collected one, sent him to the inside there, the old pit road on the backstretch, and ended up on his lid. So that might be the end of his night as well.
A tough break there. That's 3 really good race cars that just got collected in that accident. An unfortunate break there. And we're going to actually try to catch a word here with Tyler McRae. Or actually, excuse me, not Tyler McRae. I want to talk with Alex Halinar, the guy who was at the start of that wreck. So we're going to pull him in for a quick interview. And Alex Halinar, it's Petey and Doug up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Halinar, a tough hit there. So first off, how's the car? And second off, what happened there from the cockpit?
Car, not so good. I got a tow. Unfortunately, major net code there got put in the wall, and then Kendrick Kramer decided instead of going where no cars are to just make a left right into my car.
A tough break there for you, Halinar, and it seems as though you haven't really just had good luck since winning the season opener. What do you think needs to happen here for the 57 team to get things heading back in the right direction after such a great start to the season?
I just don't know what to say about what I can do to do better. If you look at USA, I just got caught up in other people's messes early. Here, netcode, it's just a situation where I can't really do anything. This is unfortunately going to be the last race for me before I head back up to college. Someone else will be in the car. That has not been announced yet, but will be. We still got Aiden in this race. I don't know how much the repairs are. I'll get this thing out there or at least do some laps. Yeah, there's still points to get. I still want this car to be top 15 in points.
All
just
right,
so
well, that's
that whoever's in it can make the show.
That's driver of the number 57, Alex Halinar. If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all right now, as he's going to look to get that machine fixed and back out there. Is Doug, looks like we are under another caution flag period here right now. And second one, everyone came down pit road, got tires on their car. We'll have to see where everyone cycles through.
Yeah, it's looking like the 48 might cycle through the front. The two-car Benjamin Eaton was showing in the lead there. But it's interesting, everybody getting those tires. We saw some guys trying to run that high line, and the only place that the high line generally seems to work at this track is in turns 3 and 4. We saw a couple guys trying to get to the outside line in turns 1 and 2, and I know the 57 said that they had the netcode issue, and it obviously, by the way that wreck happened, it probably was a netcode thing. But you get on that outside line in 1 and 2, that outside wall creeps up really, really quickly on you.
So it looks like everyone's going to get double file here. Here's going to be how we restart. Paul Coleman Jr., after starting 38th, will be restarting first. Second will be Dexter Knipp. Third will be Octavio Rondoletto. Fourth will be Aiden McConaughey. Fifth will be Jordan Babinger. Sixth will be William Karp. Seventh will be Stephen Rex. Eighth will be Greg Holes. Ninth will be Marty Zakala. And 10th will be Luke Turpin. As we go down the backstretch right now, and Kendrick Crayer has officially pulled his car behind the wall. Crayer is done for the evening, or Cryer, excuse me. So a tough break there for Kendrick Cryer. And it looks like his car is officially out. Pat Sullivan's officially out. And we are just waiting. Actually, Sullivan's not officially out. Sullivan is still in the car. We'll have to see what happens with that. Well, as we come down into turns 3 and 4, it's the 42 of Paul Coleman that has the field at bay. Coleman, this will be the first laps he has led in a little while for that K2 Sauce number 42 machine. Here they come down the backstretch off of turn number 4. Coleman has the field in tow. And the green flag, he's going to wait till the last second. Green flag in the air. Coleman gets on it, but it is Knipp on the high side, getting the better jump right there. And Coleman's just going to pull off and let the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto go, and Coleman just lets the whole field go by as now Knipp continues to try to race on the high side. Babinger and Rondoletto are through. Here comes Stephen Rex in the number 28. That whole inside lane just got a free pass pretty much because Paul Coleman pulled off. The 07 of Knipp going to throw the block there in the 28 of Stephen Rex, as looks like the 08 of William Karp just went way up the racetrack. He didn't quite hit the wall. He's going to slide back down in the line, but a kind of hectic restart there, Doug.
Yeah, that did get a little dicey with the front car dropping down to the low side, letting everybody by. He ensured nobody would get a black flag for passing him, but he also kind of shook things up for the whole field right behind him, and that whole line, like you said, had the free pass to the inside. That gave some of these guys a real advantage, and some of these guys got a heck of a run down into the turn, and they definitely capitalized on it. Some of these guys are really starting to work their way through the field.
Yeah, we still have 40 of the 43 starters within one lap of the lead. 35 are on the lead lap. Up front is Rondoletto, and here we go to the inside comes Babinger. Babinger moves Rondoletto up the speedway. They race side by side for the top spot. They are going at it right now, and the 48 is going to take the top spot away from Jordan Babinger. The 77 of Octavio Rondoletto slides down into second position. The third of Dexter Knipp, he is now up to third position. They race really aggressively for fourth behind him. The 17 of McConaughey is going to drive the 28 all the way down to the apron. And the 52 of Zakala gets loose. Can he save it? He does save it. Everyone saves the cars there, Doug. They're going to keep him going.
That is impressive. They all managed to check up just in time. It couldn't have happened at a better spot. Everybody's kind of slowing down for that turn 1 entry, so they were able to react in time and save it. Great driving by some of these guys. He was almost completely sideways, pulls it back around. That was a nice save, and just an outstanding bit of driving from everybody back behind him. It does bunch up the field right behind them from about the 11 car on back. Everybody's just kind of got bunched up between the restart and the other car getting loose.
As we go side by side right now with Greg Holes and Marty Zakala. Zakala on the high side. Holes going to take the spot away. Move Holes up to 7th position now. The 15 car of Chase Johnson. He gets underneath the 52 of Zakala. Here comes Johnson trying to take 8th away from Zakala. Johnson slides up the racetrack. He's going to get the car back in the line now. He drives it off the corner. And the 15 of Chase Johnson still hanging on to the bottom side. Zakala on the high side does get a pretty good run. Zakala, as we go down into turns 3 and 4. Zakala on the high side of the racetrack, he will not have the run. It's the 15 of Johnson getting the run as they come down towards the start-finish line. And Zakala on the high side does continue to maintain the spot, but it is Johnson on the inside. doing a really good job of keeping that car down there, keeping the RPMs up high enough to race with Zakala. And now it looks like Johnson has the advantage ahead as we go down the backstretch. And as we head down into turns 3 and 4, it's going to be Chase Johnson taking over the 8th position from Marty Zakala. And now Sean Patrick's going to peek to the inside.
Yeah, they're definitely racing the trying to hold that low line as long as they can. These guys forcing the other competitors to go to the outside, especially in turns 1 and 2. That if you can hold that bottom line, you can get an advantage. But that high line is always faster in 3 and 4, so it's kind of a tricky thing to do. If you can hold the bottom through 1 and 2, get a little bit higher line in 3 and 4, you can definitely get a pass. You can definitely hold somebody back if you need to, as we see the 28 starting to slide on by the 52 now as well.
So we see a couple changes in position there. As up to 6th right now, the highest we've seen the 454 run all night. Luke Turpin now, after starting 41st, is up to 6th. Luke Turpin, a regular contender in these XCal events, so good seeing his face near the front of the field as Turpin now is going to try to catch a draft from the 32 of Trevor Birchmere, see if maybe he can catch up to the 5th position. Behind Turpin right now, the number 15 of Chase Johnson. He has a good draft on the number 61 of Greg Holes. Holes continues to hold on to 7th position, but Johnson honestly has done a good job making his way up through this field. Behind these guys, some good racing going on. We have William Karp racing side by side with Marty Zakala for 11th and 12th. Karp is going to take the position away, so move Karp up to 11th now, so he'll set his sights on 10th place Stephen Rex. And the 57 of Alex Hallinar is back out there. That car is a ton of damage. Somehow he's back out there, only 5 laps down, though. Although, Doug, that car looks like it can go about 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, trying to get a look at him, but any damage he had, definitely without a fast repair, he's going to be struggling all night long. And it looks like we might have a couple of cars out several laps down as well. Trying to check scoring. Looks like they're we might have a couple more coming back out with damage here in just a little bit. So that will be interesting to see if they can recover. Yeah, his car is pretty banged up.
Up front, Rondoletto does continue to hold on to the lead, although Aiden McConaughey really starting to reel in the 77 of Rondoletto here. As the 48 of Jordan Babinger runs right on the 17's bumper. Top three cars pretty much all underneath the blanket right now. As caution's out on the speedway just as we cross the line for lap number 50. Looks like maybe the 51 of John Domino, or maybe it was the 51 of Domino. Yeah, it looks like Semperuch, the 74, and Domino had an issue.
Looks like our cameras may not have caught that incident. We're trying to look back here. They were all running nose to tail right there in a fairly large group as they went off into 1 and 2, and looks like our cameraman just did not catch it that time.
So yeah, it looks like Semperuch, from all I saw, Semperuch had some sort of issue there with Ryan Soper in the 84 car. And looks like Soper might have dove it in just right underneath the 74. We're going to have to try to catch a word here with Ryan Soper, our in-car reporter, see what he saw from his cockpit. And Ryan Soper, it's Petey and Doug up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, Petey.
Well, Pud, what happened there from your perspective?
My perspective, I got into the 74 a little bit accidentally on the corner, and he hopped, and I tried to make it so he could use my car as a like a barrier to save himself, but that didn't end too well.
So what's the game plan now here, Pud, knowing you're probably going to be receiving a black flag, and how are you going to strategize around that?
I might just play it by ear like I have been all race. But yeah, I think that was my fault on the caution.
All right, and is there anything you'd like your fans to know this time?
Oops.
All right, that is Pud, driver of the number 84, our in-car reporter this evening, as we are under a caution here just about 1/6 of the way through the race, Doug.
Yeah, and it looks like the 77 went to pit road, and the 48 stayed out. Those two have been up front battling, and so it'll be a question. They've only been out for about 10 laps or so on those tires of green flag laps anyway. will play some interesting strategy down the line to see they can go a long way on fuel, obviously, but we'll see how the tire strategy plays out because I do believe that's going to put the 77 back quite a ways.
Yeah, and back there, we've seen already, Doug, it's kind of survival of the fittest back there. Everyone's just fighting to survive back there.
Yeah, we'll be watching the 77 pretty closely as he gets going again. Once it looks like we've got several cars that did hit pit road this time, so it may not be as big of an impact. But once they get everybody cycled out, we'll have to see where he ends up. That could decide his race if he gets caught in one of these incidents as these guys are running too wide and trying to pick up as many positions as they can in the middle and the back of the pack.
Here's how we're going to restart when we get things going. First place is going to be Jordan Babinger. Second will be Trevor Birchmere. Third will be Heather Patrick. Fourth will be Stephen Rex. Fifth will be Blake Wynn in the 81 car. Actually, Blake Wynn and Jose Gaudino came to the pits, so I apologize. So it's going to be Jordan Babinger in first, Trevor Birchmere in second, Heather Patrick in third, fourth, Stephen Rex, fifth, Ryan Soper, sixth, Octavio Rondoletto, seventh, Richard Holiday, eighth, Chase Johnson, ninth, Marty Zakawa, and 10th will be Greg Holes.
And there's the 77. It looks like it might have actually paid off for him to go to pit road. He's got those fresher tires, about 17 laps fresher tires. And he's going to restart just a couple rows back. So that might actually have been the smart play on this one because a lot of these guys are going to come to pit road as often as possible, get fresh tires, and hopefully be able to conserve when that long green flag run does appear, which inevitably it will after they get single file and get straightened out, squared away for a little bit. They're definitely going to end up with a long green flag run. You see that quite often here at Rockingham.
All right, well, here we come down the backstretch. This time by will be taking the green flag. Jordan Babinger has his teammate Trevor Birchmere directly to his outside. Actually, the first two rows are all dropping bombs cars. Top four, all DBR power. So, dropping bombs racing, representing good right now up front. As we come off corner number 4, the iRacing Ford Mustang is going to turn left on a pit road as Rafael Sempruch is officially pulled into the garage. He's done for the evening. Here we come down to the start-finish line. Babinger takes off. Green flag in the air. We're down and away, and Jordan Babinger is taking over the top spot, although he misses a shift. He must miss the shift there, and now Trevor Birchmere gets right back to his outside. Birchmere goes side by side now with his teammate as Rondoletto makes up ground behind them. Rondoletto already up to 4th. Chase Johnson going to follow suit. Johnson now up to 5th. Here comes Rondoletto to the inside of Stephen Rex. Rondoletto sticks the nose in there. Rex goes up the speedway. Johnson's there. Johnson has to make an evasive move to miss him. Rondoletto drives the car hard off the corner. They are almost 3 wide. Johnson's going to come down and cut Patrick's nose off. Rondoletto to the inside of Stephen Rex. He is going to take 3rd position away, or at least he's going to try to, from Stephen Rex, and it does look like the number 77 is not going to quite clear him this time. I think down 3 and 4 he will. And then behind these guys, we have a whole lot of racing between a mess of race cars, Doug.
Yeah, it is getting a bit dicey back here. It looks like the 11 and the right behind the 11 car, they are staying too wide. Looked like there was some bumping and banging back there with the 03 car. There they come through turn 1, and the 17 sliding up the track, just trying to hold on to it. He is one that stopped on this last stop. So we've only got about, looks like 5 cars in the top 20 that actually stayed out and are on old tires. So that's definitely starting to already show. I would have expected it to take 5 or 10 laps for that to show, but it is not. These guys on fresh tires, they are coming.
Here we go now. We're going side by side. It looks like in the top 10. No, we're not. I thought we were about to for a minute. Here we go. Zakawa gets to the inside of Patrick. Zakawa has the nose underneath the number 11 there of Sean Patrick. Sean Patrick is going to be way there to the 52. 52 gets underneath the 11, and Zakawa looks like he's going to pick up 6th position now. Behind them, here we go. The 03 of Richard Holiday gets to the inside of Pud. Ooh, Patrick gives a little bit of a tap there to the 52. Holiday does get by Pud, but now he's trapped behind the 11 of Patrick. Holiday looking for a hole. Just nothing doing there right now for Holiday. Holiday gets the run down the backstretch, but really has nowhere to go with it. This is the first battle for position on the speedway. Now we have Luke Turpin looking for maybe a way to get around Pud in the number 84. Is the 84 Soper kind of falling the wrong way right now? Right now on the racetrack, the battle up front is not that tight. Birchmere continues to lead, and behind him it's Babinger and then Rondoletto. Those 3 are kind of under a blanket, but not quite there yet, as Here we go. 03 gets underneath the 11 of Patrick down the backstretch. The 03 does have the nose inside. They head down into turn number 3, and Holiday gets to the inside. Holiday drives the car through the corner, and Holiday will take the 7th position away. He'll now set his sights on Zakawa as Turpin gets moved behind them by McConaughey. McConaughey makes an aggressive move there for the 10th position as McConaughey picks up a spot.
And it looks like the 15 and the 03, they're making some aggressive moves, but it is working for him, at least so far. The 15 is already back up into 4th after starting the race back in 26. That is Chase Johnson, and he continues to charge towards the front. He is actually running down this group in front of him pretty quickly now that he has cleared all the traffic. And
oh, here we go. Holiday for 6th. Holiday just made the pass for 6th position on Steven Rex. Zakala moved up to 5th on Rex. Rex dropping the wrong way right now, and Zakala is now caught up to Chase Johnson. In front of these guys, the top 3 are kind of all under a blanket right now. And then we have the next 3 with Johnson, Zakala, and Holiday. I'll tell you what, though, right now, we're talking about how the 15's moving. That 52 car is looking real racy right now, Doug.
Yeah. He has been, the last few laps, he's really come forward quite a bit. Looked like he just let his tires warm up. Once they got up to temperature, he started making a move as he starts to look to the inside of the 15 coming down the back straightaway. 15 is going to move to block, and 52 wisely backs out of it, but gives him a little love tap through 3 and 4. That allows the 03 to climb right back up there. We're about to see a 3-car battle, and right behind him, the 28 car is still hanging on, even with those older tires.
Yeah, Holiday on the outside in the 03. That car goes real wide there, not what Holiday wanted. He's going to hang on to it. Top 3 still under a blanket. Don't worry, we're not missing anything there. Holiday trying to find a way around Zakala. He will not. He'll slide down in the line, cut the nose off of Steven Rex. Holiday slides back now into that's 6th position right behind Zakala. These guys doing a lot of hard racing right here. These are all great top 10 battles going on right now. As our leaders, I think they're about to start battling here in a minute, Doug, as it looks like they've really gotten tightened up. As here we go, Zakala gets to the inside of Johnson. Zakala has the nose inside. They go down into turn 3. And Marty Zakala in the 52, he has the car underneath the number 15. Holiday is going to follow suit in the 03, and I bet you Rex will probably follow him through as well. As Holiday gets tight off the corner, he's looking to the inside of Zakala. There's just nothing there. They go side by side for 5th right now, and Holiday almost had the nose under Zakala. Zakala slides up the racetrack. Here comes Holiday to fill the gap. Zakala comes down. Holiday doesn't care. Zakala is going to go up the racetrack as Holiday rips through the hole, and Holiday is going to take 4th position away from Zakala as Rex is taken 6th away from Johnson, and Holiday is now up to 4th as Zakala does not have room to come down in front of Steven Rex, and as Johnson blinks there a little bit, he's going to reappear right in 7th.
Yeah, and Johnson, as soon as they got around him, and he started making that comeback to the inside line, but just no.
Oh, our leader wrecked. Our leader, Trevor Birchmere, is wrecked. I do not know what happened, or he came down into the pits. I think it was from staying out. He didn't wreck. He had to make a scheduled green flag pit stop, Doug.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that didn't look like he had wrecked at all, but let's see. He had been out there for quite a while, so a little bit of tire strategy, maybe some fuel strategy.
Could possibly be. We are still side by side right now for what is now the 6th and 5th positions. Zakala on the outside of Johnson. Zakala just can't find a hole to slide down into. Zakala continues to race with Johnson, but Johnson on the inside going to take that spot away, or he's going to at least try to take that spot away. Zakala is doing a fine job hanging up there, but he will finally lose that spot to the 15. 15 is all but clear right now, as now McConaughey is going to try to follow through the 15 and the hole underneath Zakala. Looks like Zakala at best here might be able to slide in the line and maybe about 7th or 8th. He does have a big hole between the 84 and the 454, although Zakala almost has a hole there. He just doesn't quite have it, as we have a wrecked car down the back straightaway. I didn't catch a number there, Doug, but I saw a wrecked one.
See if we can find out who wrecked on the back straightaway. It is getting dicey, and if they wreck off the track, which hopefully he did, sounds like he did, they can keep going green, but that's going to be a heartbreak for somebody as we are closing in on a third of the way done with the race. That as many cars as are already out or already had some difficulties in going several laps down, that has got to be difficult.
Yep, most certainly is. There it is. Who is that?
I could not tell. Let me see if I can.
Hold up, I am going to settle this mystery right here once and for all. The parked car on the bottom of the race, that's Bruce Helmuth in the 25. Helmuth in the 25 has had some sort of catastrophic issue, and caution's out on the racetrack. Caution is out, as I think it's for Helmuth's car stopped on the apron.
That is interesting that now he got towed, but apparently he was having difficulty getting the tow truck to him, especially given his position. They don't want anybody running into the back of the tow truck, obviously.
So an unfortunate break there, and caution comes out for the stalled car on the speedway. So we're under our third caution flag period of the evening here on lap number 71. And you have to imagine here, Doug, you'd probably see most of the leaders come into the pits after about a 20-25 lap run when the most they can go is about 46.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We can't see what happened to the 25, but it looks like he may not have been the only one involved in that from what I'm seeing. Trying to get a little bit better look at things, but it looks like we have some other damaged cars on the track. I'm trying to get a better look at them. Looks like the 37 has gotten a little bit of damage as well.
And Birchmere, he just pitted under green there, Doug. That really did not play to him. He was the leader, and now he's trapped 3 laps down. He's going to get one of those laps back here, but still a very unfortunate break for Trevor Birchmere.
Yeah, that's got to hurt. He stayed out on that last run, and when everybody else pitted, he stayed out to get the track position, and now here he is several laps down. It's going to be tough to fight back from 3 laps down, but this small of a track and as fast as he's been running, if he can take care of the tires and they get a long green flag run, he might be able to get back around some of these guys.
Yeah, he really just needs a few cautions to fall right his way, as the battle off pit road is won by Octavio Rondoletto. So Rondoletto is the first car off the pits. We'll find out if anyone stayed out. Right now, I do see a few cars in the lead lap that are out there, but I don't think they're going to stay out. I think those are guys that are just going to pit the second time around, as it does look like most of the field is going to come into the pits. Although we are going to have, it looks like about 1 or 2 maybe stay out. The '07 of Dexter Knippi is the only one that I'm seeing that stayed out. And it looks
No, it looks like Blake Wynn finally did come to pit road at the last minute, and nobody towards the back of the field. So, yeah, I think you're right. Looks like Dexter and Jose in the 20 car both stayed out.
Yep. So those are going to be your 2 leaders, Knippi and Godino, and then third place is going to be Octavio Rondoletto. Fourth is going to be Aiden McConaughey. Fifth is going to be Chase Johnson. Sixth, I think, is going to be Luke Turpin. Seventh will be William Karp. Eighth will be Richard Holliday. Ninth will be Jeff Edgar, and 10th will be Marty Zakala. When we get things back underway, and remember, all these cars will be on fresh tires and full tanks of fuel, with the exception of our top 2.
Yeah, and that is, you're going to see, we saw in that last restart, the leader who stayed out just dropped below the line and let everybody go by. I don't think you're going to see that with these 2 front cars, but you are going to see them get past very easily. If they can hold the bottom line, then the 77 will go flying by them on the outside no later than turn 3, but he could probably get the run through turn 1 if he's really careful about it. These guys with these older tires are going to start slipping and sliding. The advantage of a street stock is its weight, its power to weight ratio is that, it's so heavy and it's got the limited amount of power that they can hold those lines a little bit easier on those older tires, but the car does roll on itself a little bit, and that makes things tricky.
All right, so this time by, we will be getting the green flag, as it's going to be the '07 of Dexter Knippi, who's actually a backup driver. He's racing this week for Kyle Streichars, who was not able to make the race for the Dropping Bombs team. So the '07 this week being piloted by Dexter. Dexter's done a good job of having that machine up near the front and the lights of the sponsor, or the camera so far for the sponsors for Dropping Bombs Racing. As here we come down into corners number 3 and 4. This time by, we will be taking the green flag. Remember, the top 2 stayed out. Everyone else is on fresh stuff, so don't be surprised if you see Godino and the '07 of Knippi to drop like rocks here. This could get a little dicey. We come down into corners number 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang makes that hard left-hand turn. Field now at the mercy of Dexter. Dexter gets going. Green flag in the air. Huge stack of the '08 gets shoved there by Jeff Edgar. Edgar gets shoved by the '08. Everyone is all out of line right there. Someone's probably going to get a black flag there for a restart violation. Looks like we get it all worked out, though. Knippi hangs on to the lead. McConaughey shuffled through to third. He got in front of Rondoletto. And, Doug, that was an awful start there.
Yeah, I'm really glad we went to the overhead view on that restart because we could see everything that was going on, and it just got a little bit nuts back there. They were getting really dicey.
They were. So we have everything three wide now up front. Luke Turpin in the middle. Chase Johnson on the inside. Godino on the outside. Johnson takes the spot. Godino's getting shuffled back up front. Aiden McConaughey's taking away the lead from Dexter Knippy. We have a loose car. It's the one car. And oh my goodness, Brandon Varney needs to hang on right there. Varney will hang on. Now we have Octavio Rondoletto going for the lead. Things happening all over the racetrack right now. Rondoletto on the inside. He will take the lead away from McConaughey. McConaughey is going to try to slide down in second in front of Chase Johnson, who's up to third right now. And it does look like everyone got everything sorted out towards the back, so things going better back there for the time being. But oh my goodness, here we go. Battle for second. The 15 goes to the inside of McConaughey.
Yeah, and the 17 has been consistently running that high line all night long. He definitely seems to have that working. I would not expect the caution.
We have caution out on the speedway for, I believe this is the fourth or fifth time tonight. We'll try to see what happened. I'm not seeing anything.
You're going to like this one.
I'm not seeing anything, Doug.
Well, it looks like I'm trying to tell what number that is. I do believe it is the 54 was involved. Several other cars were involved on the back straightaway. It looked like they just came off the turn, got several cars wide, and somebody bounced off the wall. And trying to see this car that is flipping, I believe that was the 67. Couldn't tell for sure because he was flipping so fast down the back straightaway and did a barrel roll, landed. It was the 64 car.
I don't think there isn't a 64 in the field, Doug.
Oh, hold on. Ryan Soper, I believe, is the...
Oh, the 84.
Yeah, 84.
Okay, our in-car reporter, Pud Ryan Soper. Okay, oh my goodness. Wow, yeah, they really did just get stacked up back there, and Pud went for a wild, wild ride. As we're going to try to catch up with him and see how he's feeling after that one. And as we dial him up right now, Pud, it's PD and Doug up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I don't know which way is north, south, east, or west.
So what happened there, Pud, and are you okay?
No. I don't know what happened. It looked like a car got into the wall, and I went low to avoid it, and I think I got clipped by the 19, I think? Yeah, I got clipped by the 19, and I just turned into a helicopter.
Actually, I thought you were playing Star Fox for a minute doing barrel rolls.
So, Pud, I got to ask you here, is the car going to be able to get back out there?
I hope so. There's not any engine damage I could see.
All right. Well, Pud, obviously a tough break there. Any sponsors you want to give shout-outs to?
Yes, I'd love to give a shout-out to K2 Sauce once again. They've made it able so I can put on a show tonight, and for any fans out there, I hope this car can get fixed quickly and we can get back out and hopefully ride it out.
All right, that was Ryan Pud Soper in the 84, as he hopes to get back out there. As Caleb Tremaine does receive the black flag, so a tough break there for Tremaine as he is at fault for the wreck. As we have a few cars out of this event, Rafael Sempruch, Pat Sullivan, and Kendrick Cryer, the three cars that are officially out. It does appear that everyone else that's out there still is trying to turn laps.
Yeah, and it looks like, interestingly enough, the 07 Dexter, he has not pitted yet. He's been out there for 30 laps, and he has been holding on to, that top 5 place since the last restart. So this will be interesting to see. Does he go ahead and try and pit at the last minute, or is he going to stay out there and try and stretch that tire and fuel mileage a little bit further?
Yeah, we will have to see if... I really don't know what the game plan is here. He must be expecting a few more cautions because you wouldn't stay out just if you thought it was going to go green, because that would just kind of be a waste of your time, but he must obviously be expecting some cautions. So it looks like this time by the flag stand, we will get 1 to green. Everyone's going to get doubled up. Here's the restart order. Octavio Rondoletto's in first. Second's Chase Johnson. Third's Aiden McConaughey. Fourth is Dexter Knippe. Fifth is going to be Luke Turpin. Sixth is Marty Zakawa. Seventh is Richard Holliday. Eighth is Logan Jones. Ninth is Brandon Varney. And 10th is William Karp. We come down in corners number 1 and 2, and it looks like Rondoletto will be leading the field to green. And a nice opportunity here, Doug, for the 77 to finally get some fresh air that he hasn't had in a while.
That is true. He got sent to the back on pit strategy, and it thought it was going to really end up biting him, but it only put him back. He was still in the top 10 after the pit stop. And it looks like he's going to get himself back up front, get a clean start. All the excitement was behind about 5th, 6th place on the last restart, so we'll have to watch that very quickly, see if anybody misses a shift. But that 77's been really fast tonight. We'll see if he can get away from him.
All right, here we come. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, field at the mercy of Octavio Rondoletto. They come down to the flag stand, green flag in the air. Rondoletto blew the doors off the 15 there, and Aiden McConaughey is going to get right down to the inside. Here comes Knippe in the 07. He drives down to the inside lane. Looks like they're going to try to do a little freight train here on the 15 of Johnson. Johnson now races side-by-side for third with Knippe. It's going to be the 15 of Johnson now, continuing to use that side draft on the high side, and it's not going to work. Knippe is now going to get the spot. Now Turpin's going to drive underneath the number 15 machine. So Turpin now gets to the inside, and now here comes Richard Holiday, and that 15 is just dropping like a rock, and he's finally going to find a hole behind Holiday.
Yeah, and very interestingly, the 07 moved up to third on that restart. He's got the old tires out there, so I'm rather impressed by he started back in third, started the race in 38th. Pit strategy and some great racing has got him up there. He obviously can drive that car with those older tires and still keep up with these guys with 4 fresh Goodyears. So as the front two start to battle, we'll see if he can get up. Once they get side by side, that'll give him the advantage, give him a chance to catch back up.
All right, well, here we go. Looks like a battle for the lead might be starting to form as McConaughey rides all over the bumper right now of Octavio Rondoletto. McConaughey having a really good run right now, and that Halinar Racing team, number 17. Behind them, battle for fourth really starting to brew. Actually, fourth through about sixth. We have Holiday and Johnson, and oh, here we go. Johnson goes to the inside of Holiday, but Johnson's car wasn't there. Johnson's going to have to slide back in the line, and Holiday will hang on to the 5th position for the time being, as now all these cars have caught right up to the bumper of the 07 of Dexter Knippe. Let's see if Luke Turpin can make a move. Turpin gets to the inside. Turpin goes underneath the 07. The 07 races side by side with Luke Turpin, but off the corner, the 454 is going to get the run, and here comes Richard Holiday. Holiday looking to just follow Luke Turpin through. Holiday, he is underneath the 07 of Dexter now. Dexter on the high side, doing a good job of just driving on them old tires, but he will have to succumb here to the guys in the new tires. That off the corner, it's going to be the 03 now to the inside as the 454 finally clears.
As fast as he's moving in the 07, this might still be a good bit of strategy, because it looks like about 10th or 11th is where he'll end up falling in line after they come flying by this big pack right behind him. That's actually a good bit of strategy for where he started, so we'll see if he can manage to maintain. Oh!
Richard Holiday gets into the 454 of Luke Turpin. Everyone's going to stack up behind him. Everyone's going to save the cars. Holiday hangs on to it. Varney gives a huge shove there to the 15. The 06 of Logan Jones is the winner and all that. He somehow snuck through, and here we go. They're 3 wide. Turpin gets loose. The 15 gets loose. The 1 gets loose. They all save it. The 48 saves it. We're going to keep racing, Doug.
Oh, my gosh. I had to hold my breath on that one. I thought for sure they were going to pack up everybody behind him. Remember, this is 4th and 5th. They've got 30 more cars right behind them. It's just miraculous they all managed to turn that around and save it. A couple of guys managed to benefit from it up there in 2nd and 3rd.
I think Logan Jones went from about 12th to 4th when that one. He just kept his foot in the throttle and made his way through that entire mess. He's up to 4th now. They race side by side here. That's for 8th and 9th. The 08 of William Karp and the 2 of Benjamin Eaton. Eaton on the inside. He's getting all he can get right now on that 08. And Ben Eaton in the 82 looks like he is going to grab 8th spot from the 08 machine. We'll see if Marty Zakala can get to the inside of William Karp. Looks like he won't. Karp is clear, so Karp will be able to come down. Now the battle is on behind those guys for 10th. As Zakala and the 04 of Tyler Jalbert go side by side. Looks like Zakala's going to get it as Jalbert goes up the racetrack. Now Eaton goes up the racetrack. Karp gets to the inside of Eaton. Great racing going on the back of the top 10.
Yeah, the 52 came up really quick. I thought for sure he was going to get into the car behind him. He managed to a lot of great driving back here in the field, just making sure they don't get into each other, while some of them are making some really aggressive power moves out there. And just another shout out to the 06 of Logan Jones. He went full send through that wreck and managed to pull that off. And these guys are back here going 2 wide again and starting to look like they might try and make a move for 3 wide.
Yeah, they have no signs of calming down right now, as Karp will take the position now from Eaton. Eaton's going to try to come across Jalbert's nose. Jalbert immediately fills the hole, though, so Jalbert gets the spot on the inside. Now Babinger trying to come to the inside of Zakala. Babinger does get to the inside. Babinger takes over the spot now, so move Babinger up one more spot. Zakala's going to fall. Here comes Edgar to the inside of Zakala. Side by side, they continue to race with him. The 0-4 of Tyler Jalbert takes that spot away from Ben Eaton. Eaton now slides down in the line. That's for 10th position as these guys start to get sorted out. Meanwhile, up front, we have a not quite a lot of racing going on right now, but pretty soon expect these guys to start getting closer to each other.
Yeah, it looks like McConaughey's running a little bit faster, a couple hundredths of a second faster every lap. But the fastest car the last few laps I've been watching the scoring is the 03 car. He has come charging on. He is 0.2 of a second, as much as 0.2 of a second faster than the two lead cars. So he is coming, and he's got the 06 Logan Jones right behind him now. And these two guys are coming towards the front very quickly.
And actually, a cool story about Richard Holiday here, Doug. He was a member with us in 2014 when we ran our inaugural XCal season. He finished top 5 in points that year, driving a Big Block Motorsports car. Big Block Motorsports, the team I own. He drove the 03 that year and finished top 5 in points. He didn't race at all in the preseason this year in 2020, but then he ran the third race of the season just on a whim. He tried iRacing for the first time in a year and a half. He finished third last week in a K2 car. I asked him if he wanted to come back and drive the 03 for Big Block Motorsports full time, and he said sure. And here he is back again running third right now. But for as many podium finishes as he has had in his XCal career over 7 years, he has never won a race. Right now, that car is looking very stout, Doug.
Yeah, it is. Those two cars working together are coming back up to the front as the leaders are starting to get into some lap traffic there. That's an interesting that you note that the iRacing community is so huge, and you have people coming and going constantly. I was a sim racer back in the 90s, and some of the guys I raced with way back from 90 to 05, 06, 07 disconnected with them for years and years, but you start finding these groups of guys again that you used to run with, and it's really cool to bring some of the old guard back, so to speak.
We have had a change in position. Luke Turpin's up to 5th over Chase Johnson. So Turpin picks up one more spot and he gains another position. Up front, nothing's really changed. Holiday and Jones do continue to catch the top two. They are definitely running faster lap times right now by about 1/10 a lap. And those two cars are just drafting really well with each other. The Twisted Chassis and Big Block Motorsports machines. Both those cars sponsored by K2 Sauces, the official sauce of XCal Racing.
And we've got a battle for about 11th through, as the 2 car was trying to gain some position on the outside, ended up in the wall, manages to save it, but he is going backwards quickly. He had been moving back towards the front. He was making some passes on the outside, surprisingly, and then just got a little too high in 3 and 4 and ended up going backwards. But back up where the 48 is, moving back up there, it looks like they got straightened out just a little bit. Right behind them, we're starting to see quite a bit of battling with Danny Ware back there in the 12 car.
All right, this time by 100 laps in the books, 200 to go. We are officially a third of the way through this one. Danny Ware in 12th right now. He has Marty Zakala right up his tailpipe, so that's going to be a good battle there in a moment. Up front, we do have the gap continuing to close between the 03 and the 17. The battle for second starting to get a lot closer as Richard Holiday continues to track down Aiden McConaughey. And you got to remember, they can only run about 46 laps here on a fuel cycle, as Chase Johnson takes 5th back from Luke Turpin. But you can only run about 50 or 46 laps here on a fuel cycle, so pretty soon these guys are going to be getting into pit stop territory.
Yeah, they're at the front 8 cars are at about 29 laps. In fact, the entire top 11, 12 cars, they're all running about at about 29 laps. There's 1 or 2 in there that stopped a little bit later, but it looks like Taylor Gelbert in 9th place stopped 22 laps ago. I'm not Englishing very well. And so, yeah, a lot of these guys in about 14, 15 laps, depending on how much they've burned it. I'd imagine the 77 of Octavio, he will probably need to stop a little sooner. He's been burning a lot more fuel.
He has, as he just continues to pull the field, and Holiday continues to be the fastest car on the track, but it's not like Rondoletto is that much slower right now. Holiday's only catching him about half a tenth a lap, and Jones just kind of following Holiday, although it seems as though Holiday's starting to put a little gap between him and Jones as this run goes on. We have some good battles towards kind of the middle of the top 10. Right now, 5th through about 8th are all under a blanket right now, as Chase Johnson, Luke Turpin, Brandon Varney, and William Carpall race for positions. It looks like, though, the top 4 really are setting a faster pace than about everyone in the top 10, though, right now, Doug.
Yeah, these guys look like they're kind of settling down from what we saw about 10, 15 laps ago. They, well, as I say that, the 15 goes up high, and the 454 is making a pass for position. It's going to bring a couple cars with him, it looks like. But for the most part, they are not battling as much anywhere on the track, just trying to make it to that next pit stop we just talked about.
Yeah, the battle for second's actually about to go down. Richard Holiday is caught right up to the bumper of Aiden McConaughey, and he is running very fast right now. A matter of fact, the 03 of Holiday has started to run 0.5 laps, and he has been the fastest car on the racetrack by quite a bit. He's really starting to reel down the leaders. Here he comes to the inside of the 17 of Aiden McConaughey, and McConaughey's not even going to put up a fight right now. And right now, Doug, that 03 is running a blistering pace.
Yes, he is. As much as he was 0.4 of a second faster than McConaughey last lap by, he is averaging 0.2 of a second faster than the leader, Octavio. So this is definitely going to get interesting. The question is going to be, with about 11, 12 laps more of fuel, will he be able to run down that gap, that 3-second gap at 0.2 of a second a lap? I don't think so. So his pit stop is really going to play into him catching the lead if they don't have a caution before then. And as you know, oftentimes when they're got half the field ducking down one lap, half the field ducking down the pit road another lap, we might start seeing a caution. It could be well timed for some of these guys, or it could be very badly timed for some of these guys.
A few changes in position. Luke Turpin back up to 5th, Brandon Varney up to 6th, Chase Johnson dropped down to 7th. Now up to 10th is Jeff Edgar as Tyler Jalbert drops to 11th. Up front, though, the gap for the lead continues to close. This time by, it was Octavio Rondoletto a little bit faster this time by, but it changed for 3rd. Logan Jones has gotten around the 17 of Aiden McConaughey. And right now, we have a couple hard chargers here, Doug. Richard Holiday started 37th up to 2nd. Luke Turpin started 41st up to 5th.
Yeah, they are definitely hard charging. It looked like the 17 just didn't even, Aiden McConaughey just didn't even try with Logan Jones either. He was playing it a little bit on the safe side as well. He's seen these guys come charging up from the back, and when that 454 gets there, which probably won't be too much longer before that small group gets to him based on the pace they're running, I would imagine he's not going to fight too much. However, in a few laps, they will stop, full tank of fuel, 4 new tires. They might push it a little bit harder.
Oh, we'll have to see just how this all plays out. We're getting very close to the point where everyone's going to have to pit. That time by, Holiday, 0.3 of a second faster than the 77 of Rondoletto, as Rondoletto had to deal with some lap traffic. So Holiday gets it down to about 1.5 seconds right now. As it looks like, Doug, though, Holiday really has started to put some distance between him and Logan Jones.
Yeah, he really has. And just looking at his lap times, leader has lost 0.4 of a second a lap from his best lap to now, so that you can see the difference in the tires. But Holiday really hasn't. He's lost maybe 1/10 of a second. He's still running some of the fastest laps, almost like he's on fresh tires. So it's really, he's closing down that gap, putting space behind him, and he may be the one to beat before this thing is all said and done.
Change in position. Brandon Varney picks up 5th from Luke Turpin. Turpin drops back to 6th. I feel like every time we take our eyes off that battle, something happens back there. Varney now up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Another change in position. Jeff Edgar up to 9th. He gets around Jordan Babinger for a position. And William Karp, he is dropped back to 10th now, as it looks like Edgar and Babinger have both gotten around him. So as things tighten up a little bit back here, we have about a string of cars from about 5th all the way back to about 11th or 12th that are just under a blanket right now.
And the 48 looks like he's going to be the one to watch in this group. He was actually looking to the outside of Jeff Edgar on that last, coming out of turn 4. He starts to look again. He definitely is carrying a lot more momentum. It looks like at any point in time, he runs up on the back bumper on corner entry. He's carrying a lot of momentum off the turn, and he is going to make a move to the outside, headed down the back straightaway.
So here we go. They go side by side. Nope, Edgar's gonna have the position as Babinger pulls back in the line. So Babinger doesn't make the move there, but Babinger sneaks to the inside. He gets underneath Edgar. They go side by side now. This is for 8th and 9th. And Babinger will take the spot away as Edgar's gonna chop the nose off of the weapon there. And the weapon will just slide in the line. Looks like we have had a couple cars come down pit road. Birchmere has made his green flag pit stop. Remember, he is a little off cycle, though. And right now, our leader is just all kind of navigating lap traffic. The gap hasn't changed much between Holiday and Rondoletto as of late, as they've both just kind of been trying to get through this lap traffic to the best of their ability. Although I will say the top three have really started to put some distance between themselves and Aiden McConaughey. And the top five, or the top four, excuse me, are just completely gone from 5th on back.
Yeah, and it's going to really get interesting. This track is just over a mile, I believe 1.017. So as these lap times start to change with fresh tires, and as some of these guys start to pit, and as the leader is starting to put a lot of cars a lap down, that is definitely... Oh, the 07 gets into the wall coming off turn 2, manages to keep it straight, get down to the inside, but as the 77 starts to lap more and more cars coming down to the pit stops, we're going to see these lap cars. A lot of guys will say, okay, I just got lapped. It's time for me to make that pit stop. Maybe I can get some strategy. Maybe I'll get lucky and get that well-timed caution. And it could get very interesting for Octavio as he comes up on another group.
We will have to see what happens here, and I have to imagine he is just a handful of laps away from having to come into the pits, as he is not coming down this time. He's getting closer to more lap traffic, though, and obviously things are going to be all over the place after we come back on the track from pit stops. The battle for 5th on back, there has been another change. Chase Johnson has gotten around Luke Turpin. So move up to 6th place now, Chase Johnson, as this line of cars keep shuffling positions. Here we go, the weapon Tyler Jalbert, he gets to the inside of Jeff Edgar. They go side by side, and Jalbert will take the spot. Here comes Karp now to the inside of Edgar. Edgar's just holding that car up there on the top of the racetrack, as now Marty Zakala will peek to the inside. And that's how quick it happens. You get shuffled to the outside, and just like that, you have a freight train ran on you, as it looks like the 08 of William Karp will get through.
Yeah, they are definitely starting to shuffle out here. As the leader, the 77 looked like he was slowing down just a little bit on the back straightaway. Watching him now, does not appear so, but watch to see if he goes down. He may not want to fight this lap traffic. No, he doesn't, but we are really past the expected fuel window for the 77 and for a lot of these cars. They've been out there for 40, they're on 48 laps now, so I would expect to see some pit stops, and as some of these cars that he's put a lap down are going to be on fresh tires, they're going to come a lot faster. So this is about to get very, very interesting.
And here we go. This time by yet another lap where Rondoletto is going to stay out. Looks like Holiday will stay out too. So these guys showing no signs of coming in anytime soon. As Rondoletto starting to catch up to 24th place. Matthew Bair, the last car on the lead lap. As we have not had a caution, as I knock on wood, in quite some time. It has been mean, clean, and green here for probably about the last 40 to 50 laps. The problem is we know we are just laps away from pit stop. Here we go. Rondoletto real low in the corner that time, and he won't come in. Rondoletto is going to stay out as the 77 and 03, and pretty much everyone right now looks like they're just trying to stretch this fuel window out as long as they can. Although I believe we have maybe had one of the cars come in. I think Luke Turpin didn't come down. The 15 came down, I believe. It was the 15 that was made a pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like the 15 has come to pit road. You've got a lot of cars from about 24th on back. Looks like Aiden in the 17, Aiden McConaughey is pitted. So we're starting to see more of the front runners come down pit road as well. But we've got a lot of guys out there that are still stretching it. Probably just hoping for that caution to get to drop and fall their way, because that leader is showing just no signs of stopping yet. We're at 51 laps since the last caution, since the last pit stop. So
we have had 3rd place come in. So we have had a 3rd place. Logan Jones just came down pit road. He's getting that car serviced. It looks like Luke Turpin, Brandon Varney, those cars are still staying out there right now. They aren't going to come in. Jordan Babinger has come down, though, as we are just awaiting now on the top few to come in. So shuffled up to 3rd right now. And here we go, hand out the window for Octavio Rondoletto. This time by, our leader is going to come down into the pits. Rondoletto goes around the lap car of Derek Colson. Now he's going to pull off as Richard Holiday is going to come down with him here. Holiday drives it in deeper than Rondoletto does, and Holiday's going to get caught right up to his bumper playing a little mind game here as we're going to get to see a direct side-by-side battle of who's going to win the race off pit road, Doug.
Yeah, the 03 was gaining a lot of time, but he missed his pit stall. He just overshot it by just a hair, had to back up just a little bit. So we'll see if he gained a lot of time on the track. He was down to just over a second from a 3.5 second deficit, and we'll see how much that slide through the pit stall after he got real close at the line. We'll see how much of that impacts him. The 77 is at his pit stall as well. Looks like he is about to finish up as well. And most of the field is now either on pit road, heading to pit road. We've got a couple cars. Luke Turpin in the 454 is staying out for the moment. But it looks like almost everybody else is heading for pit road.
Yep, we still have the top two in the pits, the 77 and 03. They have yet to get off of pit road. It looks like the 03 is still sitting there. Remember, these things have huge fuel cells. Now the 03 goes, and Rondoletto is still sitting there. Here, we're going to see who gets off pit road first. The 77 is still sitting there. Richard Holiday is making his way through the pits. Who will get off of pit road first? Will it be Rondoletto or will it be Holiday? Holiday continues to crawl down this pit road. Here he comes. He's catching up to Rondoletto, but Rondoletto gets out, and it looks like it's about the same gap.
Yep, it looks like the 77 got off just in the nick of time. Now, they did close that gap down on the track, like I said, to about 1 second, and we saw him slide up in there and get right behind the 77 as they got onto pit road. So it'll be interesting to see how much he really lost on pit road with missing his pit stall.
So cars that have yet to pit, just looking at the leaders, Luke Turpin's coming down this time by, so Luke Turpin led a few laps for the 454. Now he'll come down in the pits. The lead will cycle through to Stephen Rex, who is still out there. Tyler McRae has yet to pit. Blake Wynn also has not come down yet, along with Jose Gaudino, who now pits. Jose Gaudino is going to come down. Alex Gangler, and just a few other stragglers that have yet to come into the pits. And we're going to find out here pretty soon who's going to cycle through. It looks like Rondoletto was the first car off the pits. However, a change for second. It looks like Logan Jones slid out right in front of Richard Holiday.
That will be exciting. It did not pull a caution, but and it's interesting to note that the front three cars right now, Stephen Ray, Tyler McRae, and Blake Wynn, are all on different pit cycles because of those cautions. So they're all... Stephen Rex has been out there for about 58 laps. The other two, 51 and 50 respectively. So this will be interesting to see how it plays out here in the next few minutes, because if they get a caution, they will put a lot of cars 1, maybe 2 laps down. The 77, just looking, he is going to be scored right at a lap down, I do believe.
Yeah, he is still the first car off of the pits, it would appear. We'll see where Luke Turpin cycles through and everything comes out. Luke Turpin's leaving the pits right now. Stephen Rex, though, continuing to lead. Here we go. Stephen Rex hand out the window. He's coming down. Tyler McRae's coming down. And it looks like Blake Wynn also has come down. And I think the lead is going to cycle through this time by to Jeremy Leto if Leto doesn't come down, but Leto will come down. And Alex Gangler is already in. Paul Coleman Jr. is coming down this time by. Ron Walters is in the pits. And, yep, it looks like everyone has officially made their pit stops here, so we are about to find out very soon where everything's about to stand. By the way, Holiday has gotten back around Jones for what we're expecting to be second place when things cycle through. So the top three are probably going to be the same as they were when we came into pit road.
Yeah, and it looked like a couple laps ago, the 08 and some of the other cars had some excitement going down into turn 3. The 08 was actually down on the apron briefly sideways. Everybody managed to recover, but that is definitely some of the stuff we were expecting to see during and after pit stops, is as these guys try and merge back up on the track, they're trying to get back up. Some cars are trying to get to pit road, and great driving by everybody to keep all their cars straight and keep them going.
So, as we are still waiting to see the margins and the gaps and everything as things cycle through, this time by the 77 did just get back on the lead lap, and he now just reclaimed the lead from the guys in the pits. So the next time by the flag stand, we will have a good idea of how big the gap is between Rondoletto and Holiday.
I really don't think it's going to be a very big gap at this point. Maybe a second. as the 77's pulling right up on the back bumper of the 82 there. I don't think there's going to be a lot of a gap between them once it cycles through, but we will see.
It looks like it's going to be 3.3 seconds. So Holiday lost about 2 seconds, I would say, in the pit cycle, which all things considered really isn't that bad. Then 4 seconds behind our leader in third will be Logan Jones. Fourth, 7 seconds back will be Aiden McConaughey. Fifth, 8.5 seconds back will be Jordan Babinger. Sixth is Tyler Jalbert, about 12 seconds back. Seventh, Marty Zakala. Eighth, Chase Johnson. Ninth, Luke Turpin. And 10th, about 20 seconds behind our leader, is Brandon Varney. His 18 cars still remain on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw them go, some of these guys go 50 to 60 laps before they went to pit road. So we could see this go to 2 more stops. Potentially 2, maybe 3 more stops if they stretch it just a little bit. And that's pit strategy. That mistake on pit road by Holiday could be costly if he doesn't regain a whole lot of time. But on the track right now, he is definitely the fastest car out there last time by.
I was going to say, look at the pace he's running right now. I think he just put down his fastest lap of the race, and if it wasn't, it was pretty darn close to it, as he is putting down some blistering lap times right now. And once again, though, he's going to have to try to make up all that time he lost on Rondoletto, and it's a long way to go before he'll make that back up. And at this track, too, it's really hard to gain time because the way you race around here, it really is a frustrating process. And if you make up some time and then make one little mistake, you're back at point zero and have to slowly make up that time again.
Yeah, and it is definitely one of the tracks that everybody loves to hate, and some people hate to love it. But it's definitely a fun track if you get it right, and it's a very frustrating track if you get it wrong. As we see the 03 passing a lap car there, he's definitely got it right so far tonight. But that has to be frustrating. The mistake on pit road, knowing as much as he had gained, and that. The leader now, the 77, is maintaining about 3 seconds on him. He's not gaining a lot. However, we did see he was way faster on the long run, so he has to hope for this thing to stay green.
There probably has to be something in the mind of Richard Holiday right now. As that time by, he did not run that good of a time at all. So here we go, looking for the best battle on the racetrack. Looks like Marty Zakala and Tyler Jalbert racing for 6th and 7th right now. Jalbert to the inside of Zakala. Zakala's going to try to cut the nose off. There's just nothing there. Zakala now has the 04 of Jalbert to the inside. Jalbert drives the car off the corner. No, they both get pretty squirrely off the corner. They touch doors. They touch doors as they go into 3. And Jalbert on the inside. That car will not stick the way he wants it to. Zakala gets a good run off the high side. Now Chase Johnson right up here in this battle between 6th, 7th, and 8th place right now. Johnson gives a nice little bump there to the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert going to hang on as Zakala tries to pinch him down the racetrack. Zakala gets a good run off the corner, and Zakala, as the 04 gets loose, the 04 hangs on to it. They're all over the place, Doug.
Yeah, they were all 3 sliding. They are pushing it to the limit going through turns 1 and 2, and that allowed them to get back single file, but they were looking like the 15 looked like he was going to try. Oh, we've got a caution on the track.
Caution is out for the first time in a long time in this race, probably about 60 to 80 laps there, as we had the 37 of Art Hendren around on the backstretch. Hendren was running 35th, 19 laps down. Let's see what happened, Doug.
Trying to get a good look. It looked like he might have came off of turn 2 a little bit sideways and got into the wall, but not getting a very good view of it. And he ended up just backwards, and I'm trying to see who else ended up, and the 32 was involved as well. He ended up on that inside pit road. Didn't get a good look at the actual incident, unfortunately.
So that puts us under caution here, and you have to imagine you're going to see a lot of these guys start coming into the pits pretty soon. Right now, though, Rondoletto is in the lead. We'll have to see where he cycles through. This will give us a good chance, though, to talk to our in-car reporter, the 84, Ryan Soper, who's gotten back out there 17 laps down. So we're going to pull up our in-car reporter real quick, try to dial up his channel on the radio, if I can get a hold of him here. And, Pud, it's PD and Doug up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Pud, how's the car feeling out there after you've brought it into the pits and got it repaired?
She's a bit down on horsepower and running a bit hot, but other than that, she's good.
All right, so what are you trying to hope to salvage out of this race now that things really haven't gone your way?
Top 30.
And why don't you tell the people a little bit about the XCal Racing web shop?
Ah, yes, my favorite. The XCal Racing web shop, www.xcalracing.com/shop, is where you can buy a lot of XCal Racing merch. You've got a Whale Petey, which I have on my wall. You've got an XCal Racing shirt, which I am not wearing right now, unfortunately, but I wore yesterday, and an XCal Racing backpack, which I use daily at school.
Wow, that sounds like a great package of things you got there, Pud. And also, why don't you tell the viewers about K2 sauces, the official sauce of XCal Racing?
I hear that it's really good. I haven't had it yet. I'm trying to get my dad to buy some, but it goes good on tacos. Found out by another driver today. Um, it's awesome. It's the awesome sauce.
All right, well, that was the 84 Ryan Soper Putt, as we like to call him, as he will be catching up with us throughout the race as he's still out there on the racetrack. Looks like we've had a change in position, though, on the speedway. It looks like the 03 did beat the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto off the pits here, Doug. So Holiday is going to be the new leader. Rondoletto is going to be second. Jones will be third. Turpin's going to be fourth. And fifth will be Babinger.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note the back half of the field, you got a lot of cars that did not pit. You had the most of the well, it looks like everybody first through about 15th went ahead and pitted, got 4 fresh tires, even the ones that had just been in. But the back half of the field stayed out. So with the 03 leading, everybody in front of him is now going to get the waiver round by iRacing once they get one to go. So that's going to play into this later as well. Some of that strategy might be paying off for some of these guys that got shuffled back earlier in the race or got caught in incidents.
So this time by, I think they did get one to green. I would expect to see race control probably delay this caution one time, though, considering we have a lot of wave around cars and we did just have a long run. Usually this is when you'll see a delay. Derek Colson has given a wave around, and it looks like Arthur Hendren was disqualified for causing 2 cautions this evening. So tough break there for the Hendren 37 team.
Yeah, that can be a rough thing, but it's nice to see those kind of rules in place, making sure that anybody who causes any major problems is handled, and these guys can get more green flag, more clean racing, and hope to see that 32 back next week.
All right, so this time we do get delayed one time. We will be going around one more lap. We're really close to the halfway point in this thing. When we go green, there will be 5 laps until halfway. And if you're new to XCal, you're in for a treat here in one moment, as we are going to have Higgins, the XCal superfan, do his halfway shenanigans. So he will be here and ready to go in just one moment. We'll be talking to Higgins. As you heard him before the race, and I'm sure he has a lot more great things to say here. We go down in turn 1, though, and it'll be Richard Holiday in the lead for the first time, and the 03 for BBM will be in the lead for the first time this season, as Holiday is looking to get a good run here today, and he'll have his kind of teammate, an affiliated car of his team, the 06 of Logan Jones, will be starting right on his bumper in third. So you know he'll have a little bit of help from behind as we come down the backstretch. The pace car does continue to keep the field in tow. This race is moving at a decent pace, I would say. Right now we're about an hour and a half into this thing, so not a bad pace for the first half. The second half could go in an hour and a half too. I think that would be pretty right about expected what race control is looking at for this one. We come down into 3 and 4, though. The iRacing Ford Mustang leads the field off the corner. It's going to be Richard Holiday in the number 03 leading the field down to the green flag as the Mustang makes that hard left-hand turn. Holiday has the field in tow. They come down towards the start-finish line. It's up to the 03 when he wants to go. He goes now. Green flag in the air. We're down and away. Holiday with a decent jump, but I don't think Jones got going enough on the inside to block the 77. Nope, the 77 drops in the line. So Rondoletto now up to second as they go side by side for third.
Yeah, and everybody got away cleanly. We saw somebody have a problem in the last or in one of the earlier restarts, and we've got one car down on the apron making a move, charging towards the front.
Oh, the 04 of Tyler Jalbert gets loose. Oh, there's going to be a wreck. There is a wreck back there. I did not quite see how it went, but the 04 went around. I saw that much. It looks like a good bit of cars might have got collected in that one. A no caution did fly, but the 04 of Tyler Jalbert actually saved the car. I just went back and watched it, and he somehow managed to save that, so another impressive save for what I was sure was a wreck.
Yeah, and there was another one that spun down to the apron. Did not get a good look at him, but he definitely, these guys managed to save those cars. As you said, several of them were right there in that pack, but looking through just right behind the cars right behind him, there's no real damage to some of these guys, so I don't think too many of them got caught up in it too badly.
Up front, Richard Holiday has pulled a little bit of a gap on Octavio Rondoletto, so Holiday's out in front. Luke Turpin has taken third away from Logan Jones, and now the 15 to Chase Johnson is to the inside of Logan Jones. Oh, Johnson's going to chase the 06 up the racetrack, and oh, the 06 gets into the door of the 15. The 06 is going to try to hang on to the race car. He will, but he's going to lose a handful of spots here. Babinger goes by, Zakala goes by, and he's going to drop all the way back to 7th after running third. Tough turn of events there for the 06 of Logan Jones. So Jones finally finds a hole in the line, and he's going to slide in front of the 61 of Greg Holes. As Holes going to maybe look to make a move down low, but Jones will prevent him from doing that. Up front, we do have the 77 has started to catch back up now to the bumper of Richard Holiday. Rondoletto not letting Holiday get much away from him. This time by halfway down, halfway to go as the crossbars are in the air, and we are going to bring now in Higgins, the XCal superfan, for his halftime spiel.
All right, so I got the party liquor down, and since you asked about girl bands, I've been listening to Joan Jett this whole first half. It's making me think these boys out here aren't trying to even go close to fast enough. You know, let's see some real racing out here. I came down here to drink and see some fast cars. Now, I gotta go try and get them to sell me some beers 3 for $6 since my liquor's gone. So we'll catch you guys next week in Phoenix, where I'll put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Back to you, Petey and Paul.
All right, well, that's Higgins, the XCal superfan, with a little bit more wisdom there, and I think he was so inebriated that time he forgot it wasn't Paul up here this week. It's you, Doug, as we've had a change for the lead. Rondoletto's went to the top spot. Holiday and Turpin race for second and third. Holiday is just going to give that position to Turpin and slide in front of Johnson. So Holiday is put back to third position as Johnson is underneath the yellow line. He gets into Holiday. Oh, big check up there, and Johnson's going to hang on to the car, but he was just getting a little bit too aggressive there, as now the 52 of Zakala drops to the inside of Babinger.
And it looks like the 15 lost about 3 positions there. He's been making some aggressive moves on fresh tires throughout the race, and it's been working for him so far, but it did not work on this one. So we'll see how this plays out for him as the 17 is starting to look to the inside. The 15 has it gathered up now, but that was definitely a moment.
Logan Jones just made the pass for 5th. He is back up now into the 5th spot over the 48 of Jordan Babinger. So a nice move there for Jones to get that car back up into the 5th spot. Marty Zakala runs in 4th. And things mostly single file right now, Doug, but we're just one slip up away from mayhem, as we've seen a lot tonight.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of slip ups on this restart. I'm really not surprised to see the 03 drop back just a little bit and the 454 come to the front. You've seen it most of the night. The 454 and the 77 both really fast on fresh tires, but the 03 Richard Holiday seems to be saving his tires a lot better and be a lot better on the long run. So, and if I am not mistaken, I'll have to watch the 03 for a couple laps, but I would almost swear that he is actually riding his brakes into turn 1 just a little bit to get the nose set. And I do believe he's doing it again in 3. That might be his little trick to saving it for on the long run.
I've known Richard Holiday for a long time, and he's always been a very skilled and crafty pilot of a race car. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he found a little trick to save more tires than these guys. That would be something right up the alley there of Richard Holiday. As he gets right up to the bumper now of Luke Turpin, though. He might be engaged in a battle for second here in a moment, although it looks like Holiday's just going to let off. And it looks like Holiday right now maybe realizing that he's going to be faster than Turpin as this run goes on. Maybe right now just trying to push Turpin a little bit harder than he wants to go.
Yeah, I think you're right. And just watching him from a different angle, when he goes in, his nose does dip more than everybody else. I think he's just using those brakes to get that nose set, get a little more rotation. It's saving the tires. It's giving him, and you've seen it, give him a little bit of extra momentum up off the corner. That's where he's made most of his passes tonight. He can get right on that back bumper whenever he wants. But coming up off the turn, he is definitely a lot faster than these guys.
Here we go down in turn one again. No side-by-side battles, but we have the top 10 pretty much under a blanket right now as you see a car coming off pit road. That's Bruce Helmuth. Right now, Holiday, once again, right back up to the bumper of Luke Turpin. He rides about a quarter of a car length behind him. And once again, you'll see him back off a little bit on corner entry and just let Turpin get some ground. Caught right up to these guys now is the 52 of Marty Zakala and the 06 of Logan Jones. The 48 of Jordan Babinger and the 17 of Aiden McConaughey all right there as well. So up front, it looks like Turpin continues to ride in the bumper of Rondoletto, and none of these guys in the top few seem too eager to make a move right now. Maybe the first guy that might be looking a little antsy would be 5th place Logan Jones. He's looking like he might be trying to find a way around the 52.
Yeah, these guys have been playing it pretty safe. You see the 03 just going wide, but he's not trying to make any kind of move at the moment. These guys all seem to be playing it pretty patient. They've watched that little bit of racing early in the run. They've managed to some of these guys have gotten a little dicey and have managed to save it, but they're realizing, hey, this is still just past halfway as the 03 is starting to make the move for second now, and he's going to bring the whole line with him.
Yep, he gets underneath Luke Turpin, so here we go, side by side for second. Turpin slipped up just a little bit, and Holiday forced it in there. So Holiday now takes over the second position as Turpin's going to have to fend for himself for third with Marty Zakala. Zakala now side by side for the third position with Luke Turpin. Turpin's going to lose that one. Babinger tries to drive it underneath Luke Turpin now. Jordan Babinger going to try to take fourth position away from the 454. Looks like Babinger will get it, and no, Turpin's going to fight back on the high side. Turpin trying to fight with the 48. But that high side's just so hard to clear any cars on the inside, and he will not. Babinger takes over the spot. Now McConaughey gets to the inside of Turpin. Turpin gets into the wall a little bit. He's going to hang on to it. Didn't really lose as much ground as you would think for hitting the wall. Turpin continues to run on the high side of McConaughey. Now here comes Jones to the inside of Turpin. And yeah, Turpin's going to drop all the way back to 7th before he finally finds a hole where he can slide in the line.
Yeah, it looked like the 06 had just the same thing happen a couple of laps before Turpin. He was moving up through the field. He was up several more spots and then just got a little high. Somebody got under him, and the freight train came underneath. And they're both starting to look to the inside now. They're trying to get back the positions they've recently lost, but now they're going to have to deal with the 15 right back there behind them. Chase Johnson is closed right back up on the back bumper of these guys.
And here we go. Right now, the 77 continues to show the way around the field. The 03 in second place, just trying to catch back up to the bumper of the 77 right now. There's just nothing doing there for Octavia, or for Richard Holiday, though. He can't quite get back to the bumper of the 77. And actually, right now, that 52 of Marty Zakala, the 52, running real fast right now. He's in third place, and he's hanging right with the 03.
Yeah, he has not lost much at all throughout the race. The only time he's going backwards is just getting stuck or somebody sticking their nose way too far under in the corner, and he backed off. He's been racing really, really smart throughout the race, picking them off one at a time. Now he's up here in the top 5 and battling for the top spot, so it's going to get a little bit interesting. He's obviously a pretty smart driver, and he's playing it safe. He knows he's got a long way to go and a couple more pit stops, so be interesting to see how this plays out. You got some smart drivers, definitely some smart drivers up in the front. You got a few that are being a little more aggressive, and we'll see how this all plays out with pit stops and the way these guys are racing together.
All right, well, up front, Rondoletto continues to lead, but Holiday has really gotten close to him now. Holiday caught all the way up to Octavio Rondoletto. Holiday peeks to the inside. It didn't really try to make a move there as the top 4 are running nose to tail right now. Babinger gives a little bit of a bump there to Marty Zakala. Zakala's going to hang on to it, though, as the top spot is definitely under siege right now. Richard Holiday right there on Octavio Rondoletto. Here we go, battle on for 5th behind these guys. Logan Jones has gotten to the inside of Aiden McConaughey, and McConaughey is looks like he goes a little bit up the racetrack. Don't forget, Jones was just about as quick as all these guys earlier in the race. So we will see if he can catch back up to these guys and maybe make it a 5-car battle. But right now, I think that the 03 is a good bit quicker than the 77. I think we're getting to that point in the run, Doug. And it looks like the 77 starting to run a defensive lane, and Holiday's just going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, and we've seen Holiday. He likes to make his move to the low side, so He drifts up a little bit coming off turn 4, but this time he did, and we saw Holiday make a pass earlier in the race, dropping all the way to the apron coming out of 4. So it's going to be interesting. We've seen him do a little bit of both. He seems to prefer the outside, but we'll see how this plays out. The 77 is driving defensive now. He knows that that car right behind him is faster, and now the 48 has jumped up in there to help battle for them. The 52 got pushed back just a little bit, and he looks like he might be losing a little time on the leaders as well.
Yeah, so now up to third is Babinger's. Oh, him and Holiday get real close there. Everyone's going to hang on to it. As the 77 of Rondoletto did get a little bit of breathing room there, but he lost it right away as he got tight in 1 and 2. Holiday creeps right back up to his bumpers. They all go around the lap car of Johnny B. Johnny B gets into the walls. The leaders go around. Here we go. Holiday right on the bumper of Octavio Rondoletto right now, and he just can't get the right run on him. He has to let off a little bit there. And now Babinger tries to peek maybe to the outside of Richard Holiday, but there's just no room to peek. Babinger gives a little bit of a bump there to Holiday. Holiday's going to hang on to it. They all get good runs off of turn number 2, and this is a tight battle right now, but I do believe that second, third, and fourth, I think, are all a little bit faster than Octavio Rondoletto right now, and I think that now that they're getting to race a little bit, Rondoletto's pulling away, but no matter who's in second right now, the issue is getting around the 77.
Yeah, that is true, and the 77's about to have the issue of the 2 car coming up to lap him again, and as they get up here into more lap traffic, we've seen, as we mentioned, the 03's made a lot of passes to the outside tonight. He's not going to have that opportunity. They're going to have a lot of lap traffic coming around, and lap traffic is going to come into play for these positions as we see the 48 duck down to the apron, looking to the inside of the 03, cannot get the run down into 1, smartly backs off. They would have been 3 wide down into turn 1, and the 77 is love looking in his mirror right now.
Ooh, Ben Eaton's going to hang on to it, but that was pretty dicey right there. He got loose off the corner. Now caught up to these leaders. I was talking about the 06 earlier. Well, Logan Jones has caught up. It's a 5-car battle for this top spot now. We see a little bit of space between these. Oh, what's up?
The 2 came off the corner, and I guess he clipped the apron and got really loose right in front of the 06. Managed to catch it back up, but he's going to move up the track and let the 06 by now.
Well, here we go. Holiday, once again, caught back up to Rondoletto. Let's see if he can time this run right through 3 and 4. He catches right back up to the bumper of Rondoletto, and when he gets there, though, it's just not the right time to make the move, so Holiday, once again, has to just try to let the 77 get a little space, and he's going to have to try to time this move right once again. So here we go through 1 and 2. The 03 tries to get a good run off the corner. This might be the run he needs, although I just don't think he has enough of a run down the backstretch. The 77 goes low to throw the defensive line, and yeah, right here, just nothing for Holiday. Let's see if we start to see the bumper maybe getting used, as Holiday doesn't have a good corner at all, actually. The 77 is going to pull a little bit of a gap on these guys. But once again, we're probably starting to get into the waters of green flag pit stops pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like mid-pack, you've got quite a few guys, the 20, the 12, the 82. Several of these guys back here mid to late pack, they are approaching that 50-lap barrier. Most of these cars pitted between lap 55 and 60 laps on their fuel, so they can stretch it a little bit, but as they're having to get around this lap traffic, that might extend a few of these guys, but yeah, they're going to be reaching pit strategy before too much longer.
Yeah, I think we have Jose Gaudino coming down this time in the 20 car as our leaders go around the lap car of Jeremy Leto. And we do have a few guys starting to come in as the battle for second's getting really heated right now. Babinger's all over the 03 of Richard Holiday's bumper, but there's just nothing quite there to do for Babinger. Now Holiday has a little bit of a gap between him and the 48. He's trying to catch back up to the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto has led the most laps in this race so far. I'll tell you what, though, Doug, for as many laps as the 77 has led, I don't think he's as fast as the laps led is shown. He's certainly vulnerable. He hasn't been exactly dominant. It's just he's been an awfully hard car to get around.
Yeah, and we saw the 03. He's caught back up to the 77 a couple of times now from a deficit, but he gets there and he just can't get him. And the old saying, it's one thing to catch him, it is a whole other thing to pass him. That is especially true at a track like Rockingham. Like Darlington, Rockingham is a very truck.
Here we go.
Yep, the 03 too gets a look on the inside, just can't get it done. But now he's going to get back.
There.
He got a bump. He gave him the chrome horn. The 77 is up in the wall. The 03 is going to take the lead, and he's going to bring the 48 with him.
Yeah, the 48 has a big run because the 03's momentum got killed there when contact was made. Now the 48 right up the tailpipes of the 03 of Richard Holiday. Holiday gets a good run off the corner, and Richard Holiday into the top spot. Jordan Babinger slides into second. Octavio Rondoletto has recovered in third place right now, as Logan Jones is up to fourth around the 52 of Marty Zakawa. In sixth place right now is Chase Johnson, as we have some good battles going around in the rear of the top 10 right now. But the best action's right up here, up front, top four, all within a second of each other.
Yeah, and I think the just from the look of it, the 77 looks like he is pushing a bit harder than he has in the last few runs on these old tires. He's going to get by the 48 pretty easily, and he is back up into second. I would have to say he might be driving a little bit angry right now.
Yeah, he might not be happy with Holiday. Holiday just got the nose in there very late and sent Rondoletto up the racetrack into the wall, and Rondoletto does not seem to be pleased with that at all. Holiday and Rondoletto probably two of the more aggressive driving drivers in this race so far, and they clash here on lap number 179 as Richard Holiday, though, has taken over the top spot in that 03 car, and now he's taken the lead. He's in front of Rondoletto. He better hope he can check out a little bit because, like you said, Rondoletto probably not too happy with him as Richard Holiday tries to put a gap between him and the number 77. They're starting to get into some pretty heavy lap traffic, though, as they're coming up on Caleb Tremaine in the 21 car and Ryan Soper in the 84. Looks like Soper's just going to get out of the way, and Tremaine does go up the racetrack as well, so the 03 of Holiday gets by him too. And next up for our leaders will be the 42 of Paul Coleman, as we're down to 18 cars running on the lead lap right now with about 115 laps to go.
Yeah, and I do think that I have to say Octavio is on a mission. He has been running consistently a tenth of a second faster since he moved back to second place. So he is coming back. And these lap cars I don't think are going to hold him up. They might actually benefit him. As you see, the 03 has to time the getting around the 66 on the back straightaway, but the 77 managed to get around him. He moved up in the corner for him, so that's definitely benefiting the 77 if they can get the lap traffic in the right place. There's no telling they might. The 77 may be right back up here before you know it.
We have had our first car pit from the top five. Jordan Babinger has brought the 48 down pit road from fifth position. So Babinger comes down into the pits, and we'll see when the rest of these guys start to cycle through. Was Babinger on a different cycle than the rest of the field, Doug?
Don't believe so. I believe he was one of the ones that pitted during that last caution, and that should put him on the right cycle. However, they could have gone roughly at least 10 more laps on that on the tire or on the fuel, excuse me. So we'll have to see how that plays out. At 45 laps, he would have to make looks like about 2 more stops at least and be really short as we've got a battle for the lead.
Yep, Rondoletto gets to the inside of Holiday. Holiday moves up the racetrack, and Holiday just lets Rondoletto have it. And maybe a smart move there by Holiday, realizing the 77 might not be too happy, and Holiday wants to be here for the end of this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It looked like the 03, as soon as he got to the 77, got to his rear bumper, he just moved over. And, it's, in these longer races, that's the right thing to do. You get into somebody and you correct the mistake when you can, if you can. And I think the 03 made the right choice there because the 77 was coming regardless.
Yeah, if the 03 tried racing them there, it probably could have gotten ugly, no doubt. As looking to see when the rest of the field starts to come down into the pits. Looks like we've had Marty Zakawa come down now. He was running in fourth position, so Zakawa comes into the pits. And looks like a handful of other cars, a variety of cars from around the field are also coming down as well. So here we go. Looks like we have our second cycle of green flag pit stops starting to take place here, Doug.
Yeah, and it looks like the leaders are going to be involved in some of this as they are catching this lap traffic, and it's mostly the lap cars. Other than a couple of leaders, it's mostly the lap cars that are pitting right now. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if that impacts them. We saw a couple of the lap cars that were slow as the 77, the 03 came around. They struggled getting past them on that last lap, so they're going to hope for well-timed pit stops by these guys in front of them.
Up front, Rondoletto and Holiday continue to race for the top spot. And you know what kind of racing this kind of reminds me of, Doug? I don't know how much iRacing racing you've done over the years, but this kind of reminds me of the 87 cars at Daytona. Just the way you throw these cars into the corner and just kind of hope they stick, kind of similar to those 87 cars.
Yeah, that is definitely the way these cars feel. I think the handling is very, very similar. The 87 cars just have a lot more power, but it is definitely the same way of driving one of these cars versus the 87. You go in there, you throw it, and you're kind of half hoping it sticks half the time.
Yeah, no. Honestly, those are probably my two favorite cars on iRacing to race too. Is the Street Stock and the '87, and I think it's no coincidence that those are my two favorites. They both drive pretty similarly, and both a lot of fun. Here we go though. Battle for the lead tight is Ben Eaton kind of pinches the '03 of Holiday there. They get around the two cars. The two car gets a little bit loose. We have had the '61 of Greg Holes pit from fourth position, as we still have quite a few cars still to pit here. As it looks like the '01 now has come in, the 15 has come down, the 1 machine has come down. Looks like and here comes the '77 and the '03. They both come into the pits. Holiday peeks to the inside. Remember, they can race into the pits here. Holiday, daddy heat with the '77 as they enter pit road. Let's see if the '03 hits his stall properly this time. He does.
Now, will the 77 hit it, and will the that front pit stall that he's got? He's on about in the third pit stall, so we'll see if that benefits him. Tends to be very beneficial being that close to the cone, the speed limit cone, because he can carry more momentum out of his pit stall. But we'll just have to see how quickly these pit stops cycle through.
Well, Rondoletto and Holiday both in their pit stalls. The lead has cycled through to Blake Wynn for a moment, but now Wynn comes into the pits. Actually, now the lead's cycled through to Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin into the top spot, and it looks like literally everyone else besides Luke Turpin has come into the pits. So Turpin, the last car we're really waiting on to see come down. Right now, Rondoletto and Holiday still sit in the pits, as it looks like Luke Turpin going to stay out another time. As here we go. Holiday is still in his pit. Sorry, I thought he got released there, but that was Danny Ware. Just waiting to see when Holiday gets released. Holiday gets released now. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto is still in his pit stall. Holiday, though, is coming around the pits right now. Holiday is coming down pit road. As will he get to the number 77 of Rondoletto? Here comes Danny Ware. Here comes the 51.
And
here
comes
close.
Holiday. Yep.
Holiday has it. Holiday beat him off. Holiday probably getting about a second lead.
He just managed it. Just got by right there as the 77 got cranked up. He was passing by, so this is definitely going to be beneficial for the 03, and that is not what the 77 wanted to see. Obviously, the 03, that first green flag pit stop.
But here comes Zakawa, and Zakawa goes to the high side of Holiday. If Zakawa clears Holiday, Zakawa will be the new leader. Here we come down into turn number 1, and Zakawa, he has taken second away from Rondoletto. Will he take the lead away from Holiday? No, Holiday has the preferred lane, and barely Richard Holiday is going to stop Marty Zakawa's strategic move there to take the top spot.
Yeah, and that's another benefit for the 03. Now he's got a hard racing car right behind him, but we have seen that the 52 is definitely faster on fresh tires than the 03, and the 03 is way better on the long run. So this will definitely play out a little bit different. The 77 was way better on the long run on that last green flag run. So as we come down to about 105 laps to go, it's going to get very interesting with this top 5-10 cars.
Top 3 all under a blanket right now. Luke Turpin's pit, so this time by the lead will cycle through to Richard Holiday. Remember, there are probably 1 or 2 pit stops remaining in this race. That's going to be pretty close, too. A lot of factors coming here towards the end of this one. Holiday is out in front, though. 2 cars behind him, the 52 of Marty Zakawa and the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. Those are your top 3 right now, as they're working up to the lap cars, the 2 of Ben Eaton and the 19 of Matthew Bear. As here's how everyone else is going to cycle through. 4th place is going to be Jordan Babingers. Richard Holiday dives underneath the 2 there. 5th is going to be Greg Holes. 6th is going to be Logan Jones. 7th, Chase Johnson. 8th, Aiden McConaughey. 9th will be John Schwartz. And 10th will be Tyler McRae, as our leaders are in heavy lap traffic.
Yeah, they are. And I just did the quick math on this. These guys ran about 55 laps on that last set of tires and fuel, so they can make it from here on one more stop. Now, when you look back at somebody like Jordan Babinger, he stopped a little bit sooner than these other guys. Him and Marty both stopped about 10 laps, 5 to 10 laps before. They are in a questionable zone as to whether or not they can make it on one more stop. But the 03, the 77, and the looks like the 06, they can all make it on one more stop.
Here we go, racing for second. 77 of Rondello tries to get to the inside of Zakala. Nothing doing there. And Zakala, he's kind of dropped off a little bit, and Holliday's picked up the pace. And Holiday has opened up about a 1 second advantage on second and third. And Rondeletto desperately trying to get around the 52. He knows there's not time to waste here, Doug.
Yeah, and it looks like he was considering using the chrome horn there. Coming through 1 and 2 at the center of the corner, he was right up on that back bumper, but they do have to contend with lap traffic. Not the best timing to bump somebody, and the way that these pit stops are falling as the 77 finally gets a run off turn 4. The way these pit stops fell, the way everybody is stretched out, these guys are going to be dealing with lap traffic most of the rest of the race, and it may become a question of who navigates it better and who stretches their stuff a little bit longer.
Here we go, battling side by side for second still. Zakala went to the outside, but it was to no avail. He now gets a big run off the corner. Let's see if he dips down below the 77. They come down the front stretch. Zakala does have a run. Will Zakala take it to the low side? He won't. He goes back up to the high side. Zakala going to drive it into the corner. Let's see if he gives a little bump here to the 77. Meanwhile, Richard Holiday continues to work through lap traffic. He continues to pull the gap as these guys race aggressively behind him. But Holiday up with a big lead now as the 52 really putting a lot of pressure here on the 77 Rondeletto. These guys have quite a big lead over fourth place Jordan Babinger, and then it just gets more and more spread out to the back of the field. 20 cars still run on the lead lap right now. As Zakala drives it deep into the corner, and he almost got the quarter panel of Rondeletto there.
Yeah, he's probably sitting there saying, Rondeletto, you were getting right up on my back bumper, and it was getting me a little squirrely a couple of times, so I'm going to give it a look this time and see if I can get you squirrely and get that position back, because they are not giving up, but it looks like the 52 might have slowed down just a little bit. He's not getting the run up off the corner, but the 77 does have the lap traffic, the 51, right in front of him.
Yeah, John Domino, the lap car right now, and Domino right now, he currently runs in position number 30, 3 laps down. As here we go, the 77 of Rondeletto makes his way to the inside. Just under 100 laps to go. We just got 100 to go, about 3 laps ago. So we are 2/3 of the way through this one. And Doug, do you have any predictions for who you think might walk away with the checkered flag in this one with about 100 to go?
Man, I have to go with the 03. The way he's been driving this race, the move earlier after he bumped the 77, he let him back by. The way he's been so consistent, and especially the way this track is all about how you can manage your tires in the long run, just like Darlington. I really got to say, the 03, Richard Holiday, I've got to say, I think he's going to bring it home.
Is the owner of that car, Doug? I really hope he does.
I had forgotten about that momentarily, but yeah, I am sure you'd love to see that car come home in first place tonight. And he is actually opening up a lead. He's got about a second ahead of the 77, and the 77 having to battle. The 03 seems to be getting through traffic a lot better than the 77 and the 52, and they are still battling off and on. So that definitely is a benefit to the 03 right now.
And I'll tell you what, he is being aggressive with lap traffic as Holiday. The 82 of Gangler did not want to get out of his way, and Holiday pretty much just forced him out of the way there. He drove underneath Gangler and said, yeah, you're getting out of the way. And that was pretty much the end of that discussion. As, Gangler's going to drive the 52 of Zakala up the racetrack. That really messed up Marty, as Gangler kind of messed up the leader, too, of Holiday. And Holiday now, a much closer gap back to second. It's only about 0.4 of a second between him and Octavio Rondeletto. But I'll tell you what, Richard Holiday in that 03 right now, looking to bring home Big Block Motorsports' first win since 2014 when Dustin Adams won at Lanier. It's been a long time, but Holiday would like to be the one to finally end not just that streak, but Holiday, never an XCal winner. He's been trying to win one for 7 years. Today could be the day, as that car is awfully fast. Octavio Rondeletto picked up his first career official XCal victory last week at Thompson. He's looking to go back-to-back, be the first duplicate winner this season. Still a top 3.
03, just the 9 was not going to move out of his way. 03 got the nose way down underneath the yellow line coming through turn 2.
I'm telling you, that 03 has been aggressive with lap traffic. He is not playing games with these cars. Unfortunately, his momentum got completely messed up, and now Rondeletto goes to the outside. Rondeletto races side by side for the top spot with Richard Holiday. Holiday drives the car off the corner, and oh my goodness, Ron Walters in the 9 drove it in deep. I was a little worried there for a minute. Holiday will take the lead back from Rondeletto, though Rondeletto gets a big run down the backstretch. He drives right into the back bumper of Holiday. Rondeletto flips the bird out the window. He is not happy whatsoever, and here comes Zakala now right up to the bumper. Rondeletto, Zakala moves him up the racetrack. They're 3 wide as Zakala drops to the inside. Zakala's going to let off a little bit there. I think he knows the 77's hot under the helmet. And Ron Walters is just watching, saying, guys, I'm just trying to hold on to 18th.
Yeah, that 77 car has been getting, since he's been up here in the top 5, he's been getting bumped and banged around all night long. And I am sure his temper is starting to flare. If the 52 gets into him again, I would imagine that's not going to end well for him.
And, you know, I think he's mad at Holiday for throwing that block there, but to be honest with you, I've seen Rondoletto throwing the same blocks and the same defensive lines all night, so it's really just something that a lot of these drivers have been doing here, and as we get in the closing laps of this race now with 90 to go, you're going to see things just get more and more dicey.
Yeah, it was hilarious that the 77 was throwing those identical blocks on that last green flag run, and managed to keep the 03 behind him, so he really doesn't have any room to be angry. But, you know, and with the 03 winning from that much time since his last win, that's going to be a big thing. I know what a difference it makes between if you win close together versus a long time without a win. It's a big thing, and I am sure he is happy to be up front. If he can maintain and get back out on that next pit stop, if he can keep his lead and get a little bit of distance on the 77, I think he'll have this thing wrapped up.
Yeah, this last pit stop is going to be so crucial here as they go by the lap car right now of Jeremy Leto. They're putting Jeremy, I believe, 2 laps down now. Our top 3, though, all right on top of each other, and this is shaping up to be a 3-horse race for this thing. And don't forget, Zakala really wasn't racing for this win before the last pit stops. We could see someone pull off the pit strategy here and maybe add another car to this mix after the last green flag pit cycle if we're lucky enough to see another round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and as you say, it is a 3-horse race here. The 4th place car, the 48, is about 3 seconds back. The 5th place car, the 61, he is 5 seconds back. And they are actually, and Logan Jones in the 06, we saw him up front most of the early part of the race, but he is now back in 6th, and he is 6.5 seconds back. And the longer this stays green, I think the bigger this gap is going to get. And it's going to come down to those 3 cars.
Yes, we will have to see. I'll be curious to see if these the top 2, Holiday and Rondello, start to put a distance between themselves and Zakala because they were faster than them earlier. Right now, though, Zakala is doing a fine job hanging with those 2. The 52, that Rochester Sports Network car, hanging with the top 2 as Holiday continues to click the laps away. It's definitely been the 77 and the 03 who have led the most laps in this race. And I think rightfully so. We're going to see them duel it out here, although they're coming up on a mess of lap cars in front of them. They have about 3 cars that are racing for 15th through 18th in front of them, and this is going to be big here for Holiday and Company, how they navigate their way through the lap cars. They come up on Joshua Borje Bonkowski. They're going to get by Bonkowski, it looks like, okay, and now they're going to have to navigate the John Freely 05 and the 20 of Jose Gaudino.
Yeah, and the 03 kind of is running that, arcing it into turns 1 and 2. So when he gets up high, if that 77 gets any kind of run, he could stick his nose in down there. But he's almost having to arc it down into turn 1 to avoid these lap cars. And that allows the 77 to stay right on his bumper. But I'll tell you, one car that is losing in this battle right now is the 52. He is now almost 2 seconds back from the 1st and 2nd place cars. So this might be, depending on how, as you mentioned, that last green flag stop is what brought him up here, but he's got to hope for the green flag stop to go his way again, or he might be out of this thing now.
Yeah, and don't forget, too, I think you said earlier, he's on a different fuel strategy, so he might not even be good to make it to the end. A lot of different characteristics playing in here for Marty Zakala, and he's on 10-lap older tires in the top 2. That could also be starting to play a factor in it as well. So many different factors here late in the going. The only thing that seems certain to me, Doug, is that the 03 and the 77, they have seemed to have been the class of the field for the most of the night, and from everything that I can see that's happened so far, it looks like it's going to come down to those 2.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think regardless, unless one of them just gets caught up in something, which now that the field is spread out, they've got several cars, they've got half the field over a lap down, and I just don't see. I see this thing going great.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Doug, but Rondoletto to the inside. They go side by side for the top spot. Rondoletto has the car under the 0-3. Rondoletto drives off the corner. Holiday tries to hang on the outside. He pinches the 77 down, but the 0-3 gets loose, and Rondoletto will take over the lead. So now Holiday slides back into second. Let's see if the 0-3 can hang with the 77 now.
Yeah, that is interesting. We've seen the 03 be faster on the older tires, but the 77 seems to have figured something out here. He managed to stay with the 03, and now it might be that the 03 has burned his tires up trying to stay in front of him, but the 77 is coming on strong here in the last few laps.
To be honest with you, Doug, I think it might just be those two cars are so equal, they just can't break each other's draft. I think they both are just running perfect lines, and they both have pretty good setup cars. I think they're just at a stalemate right now. I just don't think they can escape each other.
And that looks like that is quite possibly the case as the 03 starts to look high on the back straightaway. The 77 smartly stayed low, did not knew the 03 wouldn't get that run. As we're seeing, it looks like the two cars on pit road, we're starting to see another round of green flag pit stops, but those pitting right now cannot make it.
No, they won't even be close. There's still about 77 laps to go. Even with like the most wild fuel-saving strategies here, there's just nothing they could do. Holiday, though, continues to run all over the bumper of Octavio Rondoletto. Just in case you're wondering, there's a good battle going on right now for fifth. Here comes the 06 of Logan Jones to the inside of Greg Holes. The 06 drives down low underneath the 61, and it will be the 06 of Logan Jones moving up one spot to fifth. So now Holes will be in sixth. Behind these guys, a pretty good battle going on for 7th through about 10th, it looks like. Luke Turpin, Chase Johnson, Aiden McConaughey, and John Schwartz all under a blanket right now. So those cars, 7th through 10th, running right on top of each other. So quite a few battles going on around the racetrack, even though we've been focusing on the battle for the lead. Battles for position, we're not lacking them right now, although it does look like Jones is pulling away for 5th. I think those battles for 7th through 10th, though, they're pretty far from over.
Yeah, and these three cars have been pretty close to each other most of the night. They have, and that is one of the advantages, like the 87 cars and these cars, they can beat and bang a lot more than pretty much anything else in iRacing. So you've seen a lot of bumping from these guys. They've been side by side, they've been nose to tail, and they've all managed to get sideways at least once and recover it. So these battles are not done yet either. They're going to be going for it all night.
Here we go right now. The 03 continues to run right up the tailpipes of Octavio Rondoletto. These top two, inseparable at this stage of the going in the race. As we're speaking of inseparable right now, those three cars, they're side by side with the lap car of John Domino right now. Chase Johnson goes around his teammate in the 51. The 15 and 51 are teammates. As Johnson now gets a good run off the corner, he just can't quite get to Luke Turpin's bumper right now. As a couple other decent battles on the lead lap worth noting. 12th and 13th, that's Brandon Varney and Tyler Jalbert along with Blake Wynn. Those three cars, 12th through 14th, pretty much all over each other right now. And really, the battles on the racetrack, it seems like everyone's kind of found a little place where they belong. And it's been a lot of kind of just battles within the lead lap. They're spread out all over the place.
Yeah, the longer this stays green, it's kind of a weird thing, but they will kind of at some point end up with the top 10 will kind of end up back together again, and they will be battling from different positions, but the leaders are going to eventually catch up to this pack right here at the rate they're going, and some of these guys are they've just not been able to separate themselves from their respective groups. So there's going to be a lot of battling towards the end of this, and especially after that last green flag pit stop, it is going to get a bit hairy.
Up front, oh, excuse me, go ahead, Doug.
We're looking three wide back here. The 81 looked like Blake Wynn looked like he was going under the 04. The 04 drifts up high in turns 1 and 2, manages to pull it back down, and they get lined back up, but they were getting a little side by side, and now the 81 is going to fall back another position.
So tough break there for the 81 as he loses a spot. Looking back up at the front of the field, though, the 03 continues riding the 77's bumpers. There is just mayhem in front of these guys. They are in all sorts of lap traffic. The 77 makes it 3 wide to go around the 08 of William Karp, and Richard Holiday says, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that right now. As here comes Holiday now underneath the 08 of Karp, and Holiday will make his way through. And this lap traffic is getting thicker and more dicey as the race is going on. And the longer this green flag run goes, it seems like the more our leaders continue to find themselves in precarious positions.
Yeah, and that could play into this as well. They obviously want this thing to stay green. As many people as they can get a lap down, that's what they want. That way they have as few people as possible to battle if a caution comes out. But the longer it stays green, these guys can plan their strategy a little bit better, and they can race each other more, just the two of them, as the 52 is now 3 seconds back, and fourth and fifth are even way further back from those two. So it is becoming interesting battles as they try and work through the lap traffic, and we're seeing a lot of those cars on pit road now.
Yeah, we are seeing some pit stops start to take place. Jordan Babinger has come down. Marty Zakala has come down now from third spot. And these guys that are pitting right now, I have to say, Doug, I don't think they're good to go to the end. I think these guys are going to have to make one more stop for splash and go.
The longest I saw out there was somebody ran a 66 laps on that last run. That was one person. Everybody else was stopping before lap 60, and I would imagine that stretching it to 66 laps is going to be somebody who planned that strategy of going that long. I don't think these leaders can do it.
That's exactly what Zakala would have to do. It would be 66 laps to make it to the end, and he's just not going to do it. He would have to save so much gas to make that happen. It's just kind of an unreasonable task to ask. So the one guy, though, that can stretch it the furthest on field, you know who we've been talking about? It's been staying out a few extra laps every time? Luke Turpin in the 454. That car has been stretching the fuel gap. And let's just say the top four, Rondoletto, Holiday, Jones, and Holes, if those guys are just short by a little bit, Turpin could be in the Catberg seat.
Yeah, they could. Now, here in about looks like about 7 laps, the lead cars will be able to pit and go the distance. However, we've seen those two leaders only go 55, maybe 56 laps on fuel. So we'll see the lead pack start to pit there, and that could play into the 454's advantage if he can stretch it just a little bit further. Right now, he actually has three less laps since his last pit stop, so he can stay out 3 more laps automatically, and that could benefit him as well. With all the last minute pit stops, if a caution comes out, that could put him in the catbird seat as well.
Yeah, the more laps that the 77 and 03 continue to click away, the better their chances are at making it right now. More guys continuing to come down into the pits, so we're seeing these pit cycles start to cycle through. I will say, though, all the guys that have pit as our leaders come up on a wild lap car. It's the 86 of Clinus LaBeouf. I think first time I've said his name tonight. LaBeouf gets shuffled out of the way, and our leaders make it safely around him.
Wow, he was way loose coming off turn 4, too, trying to get out of their way.
Yeah, it was a hectic situation, but LaBeouf was able to hang on to the race car. The 77, though, of Rondoletto right now, he continues the lead as Holiday's right on his bumper boats. These two guys, it's 8.5 seconds back to Logan Jones in third, and then it's another 9.5 seconds back to Greg Holes, and Luke Turpin's about 13 seconds behind our leaders. So quite the distance between these guys is clicking away more and more laps. But the more laps these guys click away, the more they're getting closer to that goal they need to hit. As here we go, the 28 cuts off Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto gets way slowed down the backstretch. Holiday is just going to let off and let Rondoletto gather the cars as they get closer to this pit stop. Holiday lets off the gas a little bit. I think Holiday might be coming down this time, and Holiday is coming down this time. So the 03 pits, this might be a little early. This be asking about 61 laps out of the run here, Doug.
I think he could probably make it from here. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys run the 60 laps. He's only done the 55 laps, 55, 56 laps, so it will be a stretch, but it'll definitely give him the tire advantage while they're trying to get through lap traffic. And as they get up here on this big pack of lap traffic, and the 28 trying to block, now the 77's coming to pit road.
So the 77's coming down, and here comes Octavio Rondoletto as he brings that machine to the pits. He'll go around Richard Holiday in the 0-3, so technically puts Holiday a lap down. Logan Jones coming down to the pits this time by, and now Luke Turpin will cycle through to the lead as Marty Zakala drops to his inside. Turpin's trying to force the 52 down there, and the 52 will keep the car underneath Turpin, and Turpin goes up the racetrack. A hectic moment there. Zakala, though, has the net car inside of Turpin now. Turpin didn't seem too happy to keep him down there. Oh, Turpin gets Zakala. He spins him out, and Turpin slides back up the racetrack. He almost gets in the Gangler, and that almost looked intentional.
It was a little bit odd, but I think the 454 might have gotten into the wall a little bit right before he came back down. Can't be 100% sure, but those two guys were beating and banging off each other for a lap, so it's going to be hard to say. And I can tell you those lead cars did not want to see the caution come out. Everybody saves it. It stays green, but this might play out later in the race.
Very well could. So our leaders all cycling through the pits right now. Only 3 cars that have not, or 4 cars that have not come down, excuse me, or 3. Sorry, once again. Luke Turpin, Tyler McRae, Steven Rex. Those are the 3 cars that stayed out.
Tyler McRae is on pit road, I do believe.
Okay, so McRae's coming down. He just came down now. Rex, I think, will probably come down next time by, and we'll have to see how long Turpin can make it.
The 454 just got into the back of the 03 as they go off into turn 3 wide. That's not going to work, guys.
Oh, they're wrecking. They are wrecking all over the place, and caution will come out, and that will give Luke Turpin, he will be the first car, or excuse me, there will only be 3 cars in the lead lap, and that'll be Luke Turpin, Tyler McRae, and Steven Rex as things get hectic here.
Yeah, we're going to go back just a little bit on the replay. The 454 did bump, just ran up. The 03 was trying to check up, trying not to get in the middle. As the 82, you can see, is bouncing off the wall. The 03 checks up. The 454 gets in the back. Then the 15 ducks to the inside. They end up 3 wide. The 4 wide. The 25 comes up trying to stay out of the way, and that just everything, it's just utter mayhem at that point.
Yeah, complete mayhem there. That was just a hectic caution, as it looks like the 25 car might have just came up into the 03 a little bit there. Not sure what happened. That was just such tight racing, though. And, the 15 came up into the 25, and they were 4 wide, and 4 wide was just never going to work.
No, it really wasn't. The 15 down there to the inside, he was trying to take advantage of the incidents, but the guys bumping into the wall on the back straightaway, and it just didn't work out. He ended up on the bottom 4 wide. The 25 tried to save it. The 03 tried to save it, but in the end, not everybody could pull that one off.
So the top 3 cars a lap down are going to get the wave around, and here are those cars. Richard Holiday, Marty Zakala, and Aiden McConaughey. The 4th car a lap down is Octavio Rondoletto. He will not get a wave, so Rondoletto is going to be trapped a lap down.
Oh, that just changed the whole race right there, because the 03, as long as he keeps that 77 a lap down, the race may have just ended. The fuel strategy won't be an issue at this point, even without him going back into the pits. The 03 is going to be good on fuel with the pace laps.
So here comes everyone down pit road now, as it looks like Tyler McRae is going to bring that machine down and top it off, as he's the 3rd car on the lead lap. Steven Rex comes down and tops it off. I think Luke Turpin is going to be the leader when this all cycles out. We will have to see who they give the caution to and things like that here in a moment. So we're going to wait to see when Richard Holiday gets his wave around, and Marty Zakala and Aiden McConaughey, as that caution fell at the worst possible time for the guys who were up front leading this race, though, Doug.
Yeah, it really did. They were just coming up off pit road. They were just coming up to speed, and then they get caught in that mess, and it catches the 77 a lap down. The 03 was just in the right place, wrong place and the right place. He was at the wrong place for the caution, but the right place once everybody pitted. But it definitely changes the scope of the race. Everybody can go from here on fuel.
And Bruce Helmuth was disqualified for causing the accident. So Helmuth is the car that got DQ'd, and Helmuth will no longer be in the race. So we are waiting to see when the wave rounds will be given out, and it looks like the wave rounds will now be given out. So here we see everyone go around the pace cars. We we have a lot of guys that have to get released, and there is just a lot going on here. So, Doug, this is probably going to be, I'd say, a 1 or 2 lap caution delay here, as race control is going to have a lot of different things to figure out and get everyone organized for this restart. But one thing worth noting is that Holiday, while we do believe he's much faster than the 450, 428, and 99, he's going to have to start at the tail end of the lead lap, so he's going to have a long way to go before he catches up to these lead cars.
Yes, he is. That is going to be definitely going to be a run to the front, and it looks like the 03 might be going ahead and pitting. He's only been out for about 6 laps, but it won't hurt him to pit for the extra fuel and 4 fresh tires, or even just an extra splash of fuel. We'll see what he does here, but yeah, he's going to have to drive really aggressively to get through the field and get back up to the front.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the game plan is here for Richard Holiday as he comes into the pits, and I think he's just topping off fuel. I don't see tires going on that car. It looks like they're just putting a splash in, and then they're going to get that car off of pit road. So here we go. They're still fueling it, and we're waiting to see Holiday go. The pace car is coming off turn 4, and there goes Holiday. Holiday will get off, and I believe he should be on the lead lap, although I don't know if he took his wave around. That was a weird situation.
He did take his wave around. He actually he could not have timed that any better. He took his wave around, and as he was completing his wave around, he managed to duck down onto pit road, get that top off on the fuel, and he's going to make it out in front of the pace car. So that was actually a really smart move on his part.
And I think something happened here because Luke Turpin's the only car on the lead lap. Holiday didn't get that 1 lap back, and neither did Zakala or McConaughey. I'm kind of confused on what just went down.
Yeah, the scoring is showing second place 1 lap down, and Aiden McConaughey showing him not exactly a lap down, but according to timing he would be. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out here when they go green. If he maintains that 1 lap down, if it's not just a scoring glitch, then the 454 could walk away with this.
He could. It looks like McConaughey is now back on the lead lap. I haven't seen if Zakala got back on the lead lap yet. I'm just not sure what's happening here. I see Zakala starting to pass some cars now, as race control has delayed this caution. Here comes the 03 on the high side now. Zakala's now caught up right behind him. And we're not 100% sure what is happening here. It looks like something happened with maybe scoring or maybe some weird pitch strategy got Turpin a lap ahead. We do have one other car on the lead lap now. It's the 17 of Aiden McConaughey. And we are trying to sort this out. But as it sits right now, Luke Turpin is the leader.
And we did say earlier in the broadcast that Turpin gained a lot of spots on one of the first long green flag runs. And he managed to stretch his fuel and said that it could be the possibility that he was looking like he could stretch it further. He could make some smart pit decisions and end up here at the front, and that's exactly what he's done. He's played pit strategy and everything else just right. If this scoring is correct, all he has to do is beat the 17 car.
Well, here we go. Everyone else is going to be cheering for a caution at this point, I'd have to imagine, as it's going to take a caution to get more cars into contention. Here we go, down the front straightaway. The pace car is going to make the hard left-hand turn. Luke Turpin has the field at his mercy, and the green flag is in the air. He's down and away, and he's gone as the 062 doesn't go on the outside. Remember, none of these cars are racing with Turpin. They're all laps down, as we are 3 wide behind these guys. Oh, my goodness, things are getting hairy already. We'll have to see. Caution might be brewing here, as these guys are racing awfully aggressively right out of the gate. Up front, though, it is Luke Turpin, and looks like everyone will get sorted out for the time being.
Yeah, just taking a look, the 77 is back there in 4th. The 03 is being scored back in 8th at the moment, and when they cross the start-finish line, we'll be able to tell what the situation is. But it's looking like everybody is showing at least 1 lap down, so
Yeah, the closest car is McConaughey, 6 seconds back, so McConaughey is the only car, unless we get a caution, that is in contention for this thing. As up front, though, some guys are starting to unlap themselves around Turpin. We've seen the 48 of Babinger go around, and looks like more cars trying to find their way around Luke Turpin, as we just have all sorts of things messed up right now onto the racetrack. And what was shaping up to be a great battle for this win, Doug, just was kind of all screwed up by this pitch strategy that took place with the weird caution.
Yeah, it really did, and it played into Turpin's hand perfectly. As we see a bunch of battles mid-pack, they are trying to sort themselves out. They are still racing for position despite being a lap down, And it's definitely a bit confusing as to what happened, but none of these guys are giving it up yet. They know that they still have a chance. If another caution comes out, they could get that lap back. So we'll see how this plays out. But Luke Turpin's up there, and he just wants this thing to stay green and stay clean and hopefully get to the end.
That has to be his hope at this stage in the game, and Aiden McConaughey's trying to make his way through a minefield of race cars. There's just nowhere for him to go right now. I mean, it is just jam-packed in this field right now. It's like rush hour traffic. Here we go. Ron Walters dives to the inside of Luke Turpin. Turpin gets shuffled up the racetrack. These guys are not playing nice with Luke Turpin right now, as Walters is going to take one of his laps back from Luke. Luke does hang on the outside of Walters, but it will be Luke getting around Walters now, as the next car behind Turpin's third place, Tyler McRae. As here we go, Octavio Rondoletto just drives through all these race cars right now. He is trying to get back around. As he's just praying for a caution right now, as that would really be his only shot in this thing. As he is right up on the bumper right now, the one of Brandon Varney. And for Rondoletto, he might want to be getting up to Turpin to unlap himself naturally. If he can just take his lap back, that means when we get things sorted out, he would restart up front.
Yeah, it would, and that would be huge for him, because the 03 is currently still back in 7th place. He's worked his way up one more position, but still only up in about 7th place. And it's going to be a lot harder with this gaggle of cars right behind the 77. It's going to be extremely hard for him to get up there to the 77 and to the leader and unlap himself naturally. So even if he gets his lap back, he'll be starting at the back of the field, and I don't know if he can work his way through all the traffic back to the front and back to the lead in 45 laps.
And right now, Rondoletto on the high side, and he's racing with Tyler Jalbert. Tyler McRae has taken his lap back. He just unlapped himself from Luke Turpin. He went around the 454. They're racing really hard in this pack right now, though. There's a lot of aggressive racing going on. And actually, Aiden McConaughey is starting to catch Luke Turpin a little bit. I think the 17 is faster than the 454. It's just right now a matter of, can the 17 get there? Does he have enough time? If the 454 starts getting caught by all these guys and starts getting shuffled back, I mean, McConaughey might have an outside shot at this thing.
Yeah, he really might, but he does have a bunch of traffic right in front of him. He's got about a half dozen cars he's got to work through, but these guys are trying to unlap themselves. He could, if he sees that a lot of these guys are men.
Caution! Caution's out onto the racetrack. Yellow flag is out as we have had an accident. It looks like on the backstretch, a car went flipping upside down. That was Octavio Rondoletto. Octavio Rondoletto, as him and Tyler Jalbert got into it, and Rondoletto's race just like that ruined.
Looks like the 04 went down into turn 4 or into turn 2, excuse me. It looks like the 77 might have got into the back of him just a little bit, and he snapped as he came across, and it does send the 77 flying, flipping over into the backstretch pit. And yeah, his race is done, but that definitely is going to play into the hands of the 03 right now. We'll have to go look and see if the 03 got caught.
No, he didn't. He and Zakala are fine. So the three waves are actually going to be Chase Johnson, Greg Holes, and Richard Holiday. Those will be the three cars that will get the wave around. So actually getting caught up into the lead pack is going to be Luke Turpin, Aiden McConaughey, and Tyler McRae. And I think that Turpin's probably the slowest out of those three cars right now. So McConaughey and McRae now kind of sitting in the jailbird seat.
Yeah, they really are. And we talked about it about 20 laps ago. 26 laps ago when they had that last caution, that really shook up the strategy and everything else. This was the one thing that Luke Turpin did not want to see tonight, was another caution. But now that it's happened with the 77 being taken out and the 03 back to the lead lap, everything just changed dramatically again.
And for Richard Holiday, he has to want to see one more caution, so he can get caught back up to the leaders. Because now with Rondoletto out of it, the 03 has to be loving his chances if he can just see one more after this one.
Yeah, as long as he's not involved in it and he can get his way back through the field, he's going to love that. He is definitely faster than the 454's been all night, but the 454 is definitely, Luke Turpin is definitely the king of strategy tonight to put himself in this position. As we've got a lot of cars now coming to pit road, I think we might even see the 03 hit pit road. No, we will not.
Nope. So it looks like the second and third place cars do come down, though. So Aiden McConaughey and Tyler McRae came down, topped off on fuel, and got right side tires, I believe. So Turpin's going to be out there on old tires, and the car to his right and the car behind him are going to be on fresh ones.
Yep, and it also looks like the three cars behind him, fourth, fifth, and sixth, are on those older tires as well. So once this shakes out, the 03 is faster on the old tires, and he's definitely going to have the advantage over the two cars in front of him, and then he's just going to have to work through those first three cars.
All right, so here we go. Just waiting to see where everything. Here we go. They're going to give the wave rounds now. So Johnson gets back on the lead lap. Holes gets back on the lead lap, and now looks like Holiday will get his lap back too. So those three cars, fourth, fifth, and sixth, will now put 6 cars onto our lead lap, as the 6 guys are in contention for this. If we see one more caution, the next 3 up would be Zakala, Rex, and Jones. And the only other car that's just 1 lap down is 10th place Jordan Babinger. Once you get back to 11th through 16th, all those cars are 2 laps down. And then 17th through 20th are 3 laps down, and it just gets progressively worse.
Yes, it does, but I gotta say, if they get another caution, they get 3 more cars. Those next 3 cars to get a lap back are some of the faster cars out here tonight, especially that 52 car. So it could get very interesting if they get another late race caution. This could get very dicey at the end.
So here we go, as the things are getting doubled up here. We'll see if we go green this time by. I'm not sure if we will, because I don't know if the field's all worked out. But leading the race is Luke Turpin. On his outside is second place, Aiden McConaughey. Third is Tyler McRae, and then the rest of the cars behind them are lap cars. As Johnson, Holes, and Holiday are at the tail end of the lead lap. It looks like we're going to go green this time by. So the pace car brings the field to... Oh, nope, we get a last-second delay. So we will go one more lap before we get this thing back underway. So Turpin on the inside, and then the 2 cars behind him on the lead lap on fresh tires. I'll tell you whose chance I really don't mind in this race right now, and that is Tyler McRae. I think that where Tyler McRae is sitting, if this is the last caution and we go green to the end, Tyler McRae would be the guy that I would put my money on right now.
Yeah, you got to think that he's been fast all night, but that 17, Aiden McConaughey, he has been super fast, especially these last few runs. He's managed to stay out of trouble, and he is definitely faster than the 454 is. So it's going to be definitely interesting with 6 cars back on the lead lap, a couple of them trying to fight their way up to the front. It's going to get very, very interesting here this last part of the race.
So here we go as we go down the backstretch. This time by, we will be getting the green flag. Luke Turpin is out in front, McConaughey on the outside, and a new car, the 17. That is a ride that he just earned 2 weeks ago. He didn't have a ride. He was just a substitute driver for a few teams for a while until Hal and our racing team finally signed him into the 17, and now he's going to restart in second with just under 40 laps to go. Here we come down into turns 3 and 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang is going to make that hard left-hand turn into the pit area. The field will be at the mercy of Luke Turpin trying to get his first career official XCal victory. They come down to the green flag. The green flag's in the air, and it's Turpin with a nice jump. McConaughey is going to be second. Third is McRae. McConaughey is clear of McRae, so they can all get single file here. McConaughey slides down in front of Tyler McRae. They get it all sorted out. Chase Johnson about 5 seconds behind our leaders. Holiday and Holes also about 5 seconds back. Actually, Holes is in the pits. Holes is in the pits. Only 5 cars are out on the track on the lead lap right now. Holes having a good day. Some sort of issues brought him into pit road. Here we go up front. The 7 of Aiden McConaughey catches up to Luke Turpin. Turpin gets tight off the corner. McConaughey to the inside. Aiden McConaughey has the run on the inside of Luke Turpin. Turpin on the high side of the speedway will give that position away to McConaughey. McConaughey to the point.
Yeah, and McConaughey, like I said, on that restart, he's been way faster than Turpin. I think Turpin knew it, but he is going to try and make a move coming into turn 3. He's actually looking out. He decided to back out of it, but he is laying back just a little bit, trying to get a run back to the inside. Almost gets the rear bumper there.
McConaughey with a mistake. He has to throw the block on Turpin now. And McConaughey is a younger driver, and Turpin's one of those guys who's racing for wins a lot. McConaughey has never really raced for an XCal win, and I think he has the faster car, Doug, but this is where you might see an experienced driver like Luke Turpin take advantage of a very inexperienced driver like McConaughey.
Yeah, and as the 17 looked like he got a little loose through 3 and 4, I'm always going to bet on the experienced driver over the younger driver. Younger drivers tend to be more aggressive, especially later in the race. The experienced drivers, they got experience for a reason, and they're going to strategize this out. He's got 34 laps to go. He can follow that 17 car around. He can play with him, make him wear himself out, and then get it in the last 5 or 10 laps.
McConaughey continues to lead on the low side. Now he opens up a little bit of a gap. We've had a change for fourth. Holiday has gotten around Johnson, and so Holiday's up to fourth. But unless there's another caution in this race, I just don't think the 03 will have enough time to catch up to our leaders, as he is just in a mess of traffic back there. As he just possibly can't make up 6 seconds in 30 laps. That's just too tall of a task. Right now, though, our top three continue to run under our blanket, so we're going to focus on that. McConaughey in the top spot does pull a gap on Turpin a little bit now, and now that McConaughey seems to have some breathing room, it seems like maybe the nerves have calmed down a little bit, Doug, and he's starting to just put down some solid laps.
Yeah, we saw the mistakes when the 454 was right on his bumper, but now he's got that little bit of a gap, several car lengths, in fact, almost 0.3 of a second, and he's about to have a little bit more as the 454 and the I believe that's a 99, Tyler McRae, right back there. They were looking like they were going to do a little battling there for a second. If they get side by side, that will allow that 17 car to run away just a little bit. So we may see that battle for second place come into play, and that would help the 17 car.
It certainly would, and for Tyler McRae, you know that McRae in the 99, I think he might be a little faster than Turpin right now, though Turpin is running really good laps at this point in time. As McConaughey makes a mistake, McConaughey makes a big mistake, and Turpin's going to catch right back up to his bumper as they open up a little bit of ground between themselves and Tyler McRae. McRae must have made a little mistake too. Turpin now once again right up the tailpipes of McConaughey, this time by 30 laps to go. Let's see if McConaughey can continue to run a flawless race, or will Turpin take advantage of the inexperienced driver? Here comes Turpin to the inside. McConaughey throws the block. Turpin jumps back outside. Crossover will not work. McConaughey slips up the late racetrack, and Turpin gets the good run off the corner. McConaughey goes down with the block. Turpin fakes to the outside. Will he jump inside? No, I thought he was going to try to juke him there, but he didn't. And McConaughey will continue to hang on to the lead. As right now, though, I think Turpin is just trying to feel out the 17, seeing what he's going to do, when he's going to do it, and how he's going to do it.
Yeah, I really think Turpin is just playing with that 17 car. He gets one heck of a run off the turn 2. He can get down into that corner better. Every time he gets that run, gets right up to that back bumper, he causes that 17 to make a mistake. And I think he's just playing with him. 28 laps to go. He knows he doesn't have to make the move right now, and he knows if he can keep getting the kid to make a mistake, he can. That one of these days, that mistake is going to be enough for him to get flying by.
Well, Tyler McRae is sitting right there if anything should happen between these top two. Top three all battling for this win right now with 27 laps to go in a race that was dominated by Octavio Rondoletto and Richard Holiday. Rondoletto's car is in the garage area. He's out of the race after a wreck with about 50 to go, and Holiday's 6 seconds back and forth. It appears that neither of them are going to win in a day where they dominated. Instead, it's Aiden McConaughey, Luke Turpin, and Tyler McRae dueling it out here as they continue to quick away laps. These top three just not getting away from each other. Turpin fakes to the inside. He is really trying to live rent-free in the 17's head.
And I think he's doing a really good job of it. Every lap he tries a different line, and he gives a little bit of a gap, and then he'll close right back up on him. I think he's just letting him know, hey, you know what? I am here, and when I'm ready to pull up on your back bumper, I will be there and I will pass you. He messes with him every time on the back straightaway, except now he gets right up on his back bumper, acts like he's going low, acts like he's going high, and he's making that 17 block and get out of position in the turns. That's where we've seen those mistakes from the 17 car, as we've got one car diving down to pit road, and that's going to make Richard Holiday really happy. That gives him a little more space, but he has not gained any ground really since the restart.
No, he hasn't had the drafting help these top three have had, and it's just been a tough break for Holiday. He really needs another caution in this race if he's going to be a factor. Up front, McConaughey, though, continues to keep about a 0.3 of a second gap between him and Luke Turpin. It's been consistent the last few times. McRae in the 99, I'm kind of wondering if McRae is just saving something right now, waiting to push the gap, because right now he is about 0.8 of a second behind our leader. It does appear the top two are starting to put a little space between them, although McRae this time gets a good run through the corner. Turpin got really tight. Turpin just lost a ton of ground to the 77. A bad 1 and 2 for Luke Turpin.
Yeah, it really was. He came off that turn and just had to fight to keep it off the wall. That allowed the 99 Tyler McRae to really close back up on the back, almost to the back bumper of him. We'll see if that mistake happens again. If it does, I think that 99 is waiting to pounce, and the 99 has fresher tires than Luke Turpin. Luke is not one of the ones that's been super fast on the old tires, but he's been really consistent. So hopefully he won't make any more mistakes. And now they're going to start coming into lap traffic with more of these damaged cars, and that's going to play into this battle as well.
All right, right now they go around Joshua Borje Bonkowski. They put Bonkowski, the Fox, another lap down. Here comes the 99 of Tyler McRae. McRae now right up to the bumper of Luke Turpin. There's not a ton of laps to go, only about 22. McRae probably should try to make quick work here of Turpin if he wants to get up there and race with the 17. He's going to need some time to size him up and to catch up to the 17. However, Turpin, it seems like anytime McRae gets right up to him, Turpin's able to just open up a little bit more of a gap as they continue to click away the laps. Oh, McConaughey hits the wall a little bit on entry, a really bad corner entrance, and McConaughey's mistake has the top three all under a blanket once again, Doug.
Yeah, that was not what the 17 wanted to do, but it's kind of not, a first-time winner, new ride, everything. The first time here, it can be a little bit tricky, especially this late in the race, knowing that he's got a couple of veterans right behind him, waiting for any mistake. You're worried about making a mistake, and then you make a mistake, and that's going to allow him to close back up. I would imagine the 454 is going to climb right back up on his back bumper and just start messing with him again. Probably mess with him for about the next 5 to 10 laps, and then he'll go for a move.
Yeah, we have McConaughey, Turpin, and McRae here in the closing laps at the Rock. A race that is not disappointed in the excitement department. This race has had a little bit of everything, and McConaughey continuing to lead with under 20 laps to go. The story of this race has to be that kid in the number 17. A guy who did not have a full-time ride just 1 week ago. Was running a couple backup drive. He was running for a couple teams as their backup driver. Was just trying to find any way to stay involved in XCal that he could until finally the Halinar Racing team got the number 17 car and put him in it. And now McConaughey, this is actually the first week they brought out the 17 car. He is leading with under 20 laps to go. And Alex Halinar in the 57 for that team won the season opener. The 17 trying to make Halinar Racing team the first team with 2 wins this season as he comes up on Johnny B. Oh, he has trouble with the lap car. That really held him up. Turpin's going to be right up his bumper again.
Yeah, you know that team has got to be really glad they put that kid in that 17 car, but that lap car, they're not going to be real happy with right now. But it doesn't affect him too bad. The 454 closes back up, but as they come off the turn, the 17 gets a really good run, starting to build that gap back up. It looks like the 17 is actually starting to get a better run off the corners than the 454. It's going to be anybody's race. 17 laps to go. They are right back under a blanket. As you mentioned, it's going to be quite a battle here at the end. We'll see if any of them saved anything. It's just hard to predict a winner.
In a late race caution, that could still be a factor.
Yeah, we would hope not, but it could be. And that 17 definitely does not want a late race caution because that would bring the 03 back into this battle.
And that, you're right, that was definitely the last thing that the 450, that's the last thing any of the top three want to see right now. As of the 454, though, continues to run a nice pace. He's right behind the 17. McRae not letting him get too far away, this time by 15 laps to go at the flag stand. McConaughey clicking these laps away, just trying to get closer and closer to that checkered flag. But it just seems like the 17, I think he's faster than Turpin, but he just keeps making mistakes, makes 2 right there as he hits the apron on exit and hits the wall on entry. And he's just allowing the 454 to stay right with him.
Yeah, and the 454 knows the biggest thing the 17 has struggled with is getting loose in turn 3 and 4. If he can stay right there, once they enter turn 3, if he can stay right there on that back bumper, then he might be able to pull something off. But the 17 is just managing to run away. The 04 car lap down came into play and allowed the 454 to close back up a little bit, but the 17 looks like he might have got a handle on 3 and 4 even with that veteran right behind him.
So they click another lap away in the books. The top 3 all still factors here. Late in the going, Aiden McConaughey trying to make a big storyline here. McConaughey winning this race would certainly be the biggest surprise story of this season so far. I have to say the season opener was a restrictor plate race. Those races are wild cards, kind of crapshoots. Anyone could have won it. There really was no surprise when Halinar won it. Race 2, Chase Johnson, that was kind of an upset win. A similar underdog story to McConaughey. Didn't really have a ride coming into the season, but still there had been flashes of great speed out of Chase Johnson. Him winning wasn't the most entirely shocking thing in the world. Last week, Octavio Rondeletto winning, that's a guy we expect to win week in and week out. But Aiden McConaughey, he has never had an XCal top 5 run. He's barely had any top 10s in the preseason, and here he comes by the flag stand. 11 laps to go this time by his first week in a full-time ride, and that 17 car is inching closer and closer to a great day. Don't forget XCal rules. Within 5 laps to go, there will be no more cautions, so as soon as we get 5 to go, yellows are over.
Yeah, and that could come into play as well. There's going to be some guys back there that are still battling for positions, and if they cause a caution or if they cause an accident and these leaders come up on it, that could be spell trouble for that 17 car. That 454 seems to be slipping back just a little bit. He doesn't have the momentum he had before, and that's allowed Tyler McRae to climb right back up to him a couple of times. So if they get side by side, that will allow the 17 to run away with this. He is building a little bit of a gap. He's back to 3 to 4 tenths of a second.
Yeah, the Turpin's just not quite able to pull up on the bumper of him, and now McRae really starting to catch up to the 454 of Turpin. McRae is an aggressive driver. I do not expect McRae to take it too easy on Turpin. If he gets to his bumper, McRae knows it's go time, and he really needs to get going. As here we go, McRae gets a nice run on Luke Turpin off the corner. I think Turpin might have used that car up. Turpin trying to hang on to second position right now. We go down into 3 and 4. McRae right there on the 454. It looks like Turpin will get a little bit better run off the corner. McRae, though, he is right there waiting in the wings, and now McConaughey, he does open up a little bit bigger of a gap. This time by 8 to go, McConaughey stretches it to half a second.
Yeah, these two battling back here, they're both going to be pushing really hard and trying to block at the same time. That 454 is definitely watching his mirror as much as he's watching in front of him at this point. A 99 is closed right back up on the back bumper, right in the tailpipe. As they come through 3 and 4, he's right up there, and with 8 laps to go, the chrome horn may come into use as he looks to the outside, doesn't make the move quite yet, but now the 454 Turpin knows he's there.
Yeah, McRae has to make quick work of him if he wants any shot in this race. He's just going to have to find a way around the 454. He's going to have to will that car into second position. This time by, McRae does get a little bit of a run off the corner. He tries to catch right back up to Turpin, but it just seems like McRae can't get the right suck up here. This time by, 6 laps to go. If they make it back one more time, there will be no more cautions in this race. It will be official as McRae gets right up to the bumper now of Turpin. He pushes Turpin up the racetrack. McRae drops to the inside. McRae does have the nose in there. McRae right on the bumper of Luke Turpin. This is getting to the point now where McRae has to go, and even at this point now, I'm starting to think it might be a little bit too late for Tyler McRae. He needed it to happen like a few laps ago, and at this point, 5 laps to go. Whatever happens, happens at this point. McConaughey just needs to drive 5 good ones, and I really think he has this one.
Yeah, I do too. He has got almost 6 tenths of a second on these two, and now that they're battling, it is definitely going to be to his advantage. He might open that up a little more. 99 goes to the inside in turn 3. Just can't get there under Turpin, but he is right there on that back bumper. All Aiden has to do at this point is just click those laps off consistently.
Right, get out of your head a little bit, just drive smooth laps, make sure you don't hit anything, don't miss your marks, just run 4 smooth laps, and for the first time in your career, you'll be an XCal feature winner. The 99 of Tyler McRae continues to run right up the tailpipes now, the 454. Worth noting, Chase Johnson has had to come down pit road. Johnson pit from 5th, that has cycled Logan Jones up into the 5th spot now, as here comes McRae. He looks to the inside of Turpin. McRae does get to the inside. Turpin goes up the racetrack. McRae gets underneath him. McRae drives the car down on the low side underneath Luke Turpin. McRae, it looks like he will take over that spot. This time by the flag stand, there will be 2 laps to go for Aiden McConaughey, and he still has a big enough gap on Tyler McRae where he should not have to sweat this. He should be able to hang on just if he can run mistake-free here. As McConaughey in the top spot, the battle for second still on. Turpin looks to the high side of McRae. McRae not going to let that happen. McRae is going to hang on to second now as he's about a second behind our leader McConaughey. Looks like a couple cars, maybe a couple lap cars are going to play a factor here for McConaughey. But McConaughey this time by, he comes down towards Joshua Borje-Bonkowski. This time by the flag stand. White flag in the air. One more lap and Aiden McConaughey, the most unexpected winner this season. He could pull it off with just one more lap. McConaughey goes to the high side of the 82 of Alex Gangler. Gangler just makes way for the 17. The 17 car drives it off the corner. That should be it. He shouldn't have to deal with anyone else. McRae has made up a good bit of distance. He is not too far behind the 17, but it is Aiden McConaughey down into turns 3 and 4. He drives that that car through the corner off of turn number 4, and he can see the flag now. Checkered flag in the air, and for the first time in his XCal racing career, Aiden McConaughey is a feature winner. Second place is Tyler McRae. Third is going to be Luke Turpin. Fourth, Richard Holliday. And rounding out your top 5 will be Logan Jones after Aiden McConaughey takes one on strategy.
And after leading a large amount of the race, the 77 of Octavio comes home in 34th. That was a heartbreaker for him as they cycled through. And Aiden was definitely the unexpected winner earlier in the race, but here he is. He managed to bring it home at the end.
So we're going to try to catch up now with our top 3 podium finishers, as we always do. And I'm down here on pit road getting caught up with Luke Turpin, as Luke's climbing out of the race car right now and getting all unbuckled. And Luke kind of was able to get your car out in front there on a little bit of strategy, it seems like. You got that caution wave just when you were in your little sweet spot there on fuel. Tell me, when you restarted first with about 40 laps to go, did you think you were going to be able to hold on to it?
Honestly, I would say no. My car was absolute junk, and I had barely any practice for this one. I had to start at the back, so I am super happy with the third. I am usually not happy with the third, but I'm ecstatic for the third today.
And it's your first podium finish of the year, Luke. You've had kind of a lot of bad luck. You could argue that you had one of the fastest cars in the first 3 races of this season. Didn't have the luck, though. Tonight, probably not a top 3 fastest car, but the luck went your way. So I'm sure it has to feel good to finally have some luck go your way.
Amazing how these things go. You know, I feel like I basically should have won 3 in a row, and I should have been junked this race. And it's completely opposite. I was junked for 3 races, and I actually had a chance to win this one.
Oh, well, Luke, as we move forward in the season now, the car was already top 15 in points. It's not like you had a completely miserable start to the year. After this one, you'll probably be up to top 10, and I have to tell you, being the points leader has been a death sentence. Last week, Brandon Varney was the points leader. He got absolutely killed this week. And coming into this race, Octavio Rondoletto was the points leader. He finished 34th this week. The points are very fluid right now, so despite a rough start, no one's really had a spectacular start, and you're still right up there in it.
I definitely feel good, PD, going forward. I mean, I feel like the floodgates are just getting ready to open. I didn't have a lot of preparation for this race down there at Daytona 24, but, you know, for third on I would say a day that I wasn't even sure I was going to make the race, I'll take it.
All right, well, Luke, before I let you catch up with your teammates, who do you got to thank for your sponsors and crew there on the number 454 machine?
I'd like to thank Aaron, the team owner and president of XCal. He puts on a great event. It's always fun to do this every week. It's well organized. Petey, I'd like to thank you for the call. The new broadcast, I hope it looked good. Maybe the new broadcast is good luck for me. Maybe we'll start moving forward in the right direction here. And I'd like to thank my teammates. They kind of gave me a little bit of information getting ready for this thing. Like I said, a 30th place car. I'll take a third all day.
All right, well, that's third place finisher Luke Turpin. And now a little bit further down pit road, I think Doug is caught up with second place finisher Tyler McRae.
Tyler McRae, that was a great race, buddy. Congratulations coming home second today.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. It was kind of weird stuff with that yellow came out with pit, in a pit cycle, but that's kind of what happens. But want to give it to my team, man. Working hard all weekend on this setup. Steve and Jordan really came through this time on a real good one, and I was lucky enough to fight back after getting spun early in the race, and pretty little fun finish. I had to save, and once I realized I had enough, it was time to go. It was about 8 laps, I think, to go, and I had to go. And my buddy Luke, I love running competitive with him, but that last time I got on the inside of him, I wasn't going to lift.
And you definitely made the pass, completed it. You got back up there. You think if you'd had a few more laps, you would have had something for Aiden? He ran away from you two for a bit.
I definitely was moving on him, but it was probably going to need about 5 laps. It looked like his tires were going. He was sliding up in the corner some. But, when you start running side by side and having to check up or touch the brakes, the other cars are going to get away from you. So I do appreciate Luke. He's a real strong competitor. Anytime we do practice together, we have a great time too. We always work hard, and I want to give Aiden a shout out too for picking up a ride this week, a new ride, and put it in victory lane. That's pretty awesome of him.
All right, man. Congratulations on the second place finish. Go celebrate with your team.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, that was Tyler McRae, your second place finisher. And now I'm down here in Victory Lane where the champagne is flying. And for the first time in his XCal racing career, Aiden McConaughey puts it in Victory Lane. And Aiden, you winning this race is certainly the surprise story so far this season. Coming into this week, you didn't even have a full-time ride. And then last minute, Halinar Racing Team says, you know what, we'll put you in the 17. I mean, before this, you were just kind of filling in for one team one week, filling in for one team the next week, just kind of all over the place. And now your first week in a full-time ride, you put the car in Victory Lane. I mean, how does it feel to get there, Aiden, after everything you've gone through so far in your XCal career?
It feels great. Car was really, really strong. I got to thank Halinar for the great strategy towards the end of the race. Saved me from going 2 laps down and being screwed over. Feels great, though, to win in the first week with the ride. Certainly didn't see that one coming, like you said. Knew I'd be strong, but didn't quite think I'd do that well.
Yeah, I have to ask you, Aiden. I mean, you look strong in practice all week, and you certainly had speed. But did you have any expectation of winning this race? And now, inherently, you're locked into the 2021 All-Star race as well.
No, absolutely not. I had absolutely no expectations. I thought I would be a top 10 car, but I certainly did not think I'd be going to victory lane today.
All right, well, now as you win this race, obviously a great debut run with the Halinar Racing Team. What's this do for your confidence moving forward now with this team as we get into more future races? Do you feel like this could be the start of something good here and you guys might start to string together a lot of great finishes?
Yeah, it's a huge confidence boost. I think it'll be tough with Alex going off to college next week, so we'll lose him, but yeah, it's a big confidence booster. It's a great team, got a lot of fast cars, so I think we'll definitely be getting more wins than this.
All right, well, before I let you catch up with your team, Aiden, who do you got to thank for sponsors and crew there on the number 17?
I got Alex Halinar to thank for the great strategy. Got K2 Sauce to thank for just overall sponsoring the series and being a big help, and yeah.
All right, that is your feature winner tonight, Aiden McConaughey. And, well, Doug, 4 races, 4 different winners, and tonight a race that looked like it was going to be the battle of Octavio Rondoletto and Richard Holiday. Strategy threw a curveball, and Aiden McConaughey, sneaky, picks up his first win.
Yeah, that was quite a shocker watching the first 2/3 of the race. It was just a 2-car race, and then there at the end, a little bit of strategy, a little bit of luck, a little bit of yellow flags at the right time, and the young man brings home his first win.
So next week, Doug, we go to the Phoenix International Raceway, another 1-mile racetrack, Doug. But to be honest with you, it's kind of the complete opposite of this. This is high banked and fast. Phoenix is flat and very, very wide and a lot of room for a lot of different things to happen. I'd say a more forgiving track than this one.
Yeah, it is a little bit more forgiving in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, you'll see a lot of cars dealing with being a little bit loose coming off of turn 3 and coming through down to the front straightaway. That will definitely come into play quite a bit. It just doesn't matter at times how careful you are, how good the setup is. At turn 3 and 4, almost completely flat. I think it's like 4 degrees, and it's really tricky trying to carry that momentum back around to the start-finish line.
All right, well, that'll wrap up things here on How to Suck at iRacing. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCal Racing. On behalf of Doug Burns and all the people over at How to Suck at iRacing, thank you so much for coming on board with us for this race and the next 5. We really appreciate you guys. On behalf of the president of XCal Racing, Aaron Hildbush, and on behalf of tonight's junior admin who was making all the penalty calls in the race, Bowen Smith, on behalf of tonight's feature winner, Aiden McConaughey, take it easy, my friends. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, Phoenix Raceway.